First of all, let's do the visitors tonight. D.C. United, of course. In goal for them, number 22, Tom Presthus. At right back, they have Diego Senora. Centre back, U.S. international Eddie Pope. Also Carrie Talley at centre back. And left back, the former Charleston Battery player, Clint Pay. In midfield tonight, right midfield, they have Antonio Otera. Centre midfield, Jeff Unger, who's a Canadian international. Jason Moore, also in centre midfield, who's a U20 U.S. international. And at left midfield, the Bolivian international, really one of the people to watch tonight, Jaime Moreno. Up front for D.C. United, Roy Lassiter and A.J. Wood. Roy Lassiter, of course, also a U.S. international. For the Charleston Battery tonight, in goal as usual, and his suspension does not matter tonight for the game against Hampton Roads, Dusty Hudock. At right back, Dean Sewell. Centre back, returning from a 6-game suspension, Nicky Spooner. Also in centre back, Joubert Jean-Baptiste. Left back, John Wilson. Right midfield, Todd Miller. Centre midfield, moving up from defence, John Limniadis, the Canadian international. Centre midfield also, Eddie Rodriguez. And left midfield, Ivo Ilarionov. Up front for the Charleston Battery tonight, Mike Burke and Paul Conway. A couple of interesting lineup changes tonight. We brought in Dean Sewell at right back, who is a huge game player, Jamaican international.
Exactly, he's been there. I mean, he's been in the bid for Jamaica when they were qualifying for the World Cup. So he's come up against the cream of the crop when it comes to football. I think what the Charleston Battery is trying to do is shore up the defense, really get the guys in the back there who have some sort of speed, because, I mean, you're coming up against, again, Roy Lassiter, who has brilliant and bursting speed, and A.J. Wood is no slouch himself. So, again, shoring up the defense was a must, and I think Ivo has really been showing well in the past few games, in my opinion. I mean, he really is a player that can change the face of a game. He comes in and he takes it to individuals, and sometimes that may be bad. However, in the attacking third, he gets that confidence. He breaks down the defense, and all of a sudden you're steering a goal up because of his creativity.
Well, G, as well, when you talk about D.C. United tonight, they may be rusty within the first 15 to 20 minutes, and that also has to be very important for the Charleston Battery because, as you said, and that was a good point, the Battery, they have to come out strong against D.C. United, because when you talk about United, they have not played a full match as far as a regular season match in 10 full days, and their last match was a 2-0 victory at New England, a game played with mostly reserves for D.C. United. So as far as the Battery are concerned, especially when you talk about this sellout crowd tonight, the fans really have to support the Battery, because in some situations, especially in the home games earlier this season, if you take away that Atlanta game, it seems like to me that the crowd really has not been behind the Charleston Battery as far as supporting them. They really have to yell and make a lot of noise and support the Charleston Battery against this heavily explosive D.C. United club tonight.
I think you touched on a good point in the crowd support. I mean, the crowd comes out for the most part. However, they really don't get into it as much. And I think really there's a few things you're staring at. You're staring at some converts almost coming over to the game of soccer, and they're somewhat unsure as to how do I react to the game, how do I show my support, etc. And also you have the Charleston crowd is not that much of a rowdy crowd, so to speak. We're accustomed to I know myself and Andrew, I mean, where, you know, soccer and football is king, and the people show the love for it.
Yeah, I know that. I get into it. I'm extremely nervous now as we wait for this game to begin. I can't wait for it to get underway. I think we've got a great chance tonight. I just noticed Paul Conway stepping up last onto the field. He's the Charleston Battery's top scorer in all competitions this year. I think he's got 10 now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. Paul Conway does have 10 goals scored on the season. That includes his A-League matches and also in the U.S. Open Cup match back on last month, July 6th against Wilmington, when he scored a goal in the first 15 minutes of the match. But Paul Conway, as we said, he has been red hot for the Charleston Battery, especially within the last 6 weeks. He has caught on fire. He has really picked up the offensive tempo for the Battery, even during that time when Mike Burke has struggled. So when Burke struggled, Paul Conway has really picked up the pace, and also for the entire offense for the Charleston Battery as well, Andrew.
Yeah, I'd love to see one of those two get a hat-trick tonight. There was a lot of talk before the game about the missing D.C. United players. Of course, there's 4 on international duty, played against the Saudi Arabians last night, 1-2-0 for the U.S. The Bolivians are back, but there's no Marco Echeverri. You know, just just look down the team. I mean, they've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 internationals on their side. They're a powerhouse.
They are. You've got to think about it. They just won against a New England club, which is their equal in the MLS, so to speak, and they won 2-0 pretty much with a reserve cast. So these guys, we talk about the Charleston Battery being fairly deep 1 through 18. I'd say 1 through 24 or 30 or so. These guys are strong.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but I suppose it's good for the Charleston Battery. We don't get to look at the wonderkind of American soccer, little Ben Olsen, the tousle-haired future of American soccer. He had a good game last night against Saudi Arabia. U.S., of course, won that game 2-0. Just waiting for the national anthems to finish here, and we'll be underway. It's very tense outside now at Blackboard Stadium. It looks like a sellout.
It is, and actually, while we were talking, I was sort of hard pressed to actually hear myself, which has been something that has not been the norm at the board this year, or even ever in the Charleston Battery history. I mean, I think if you can stretch this how far back you want to go from now since '93, there's not been a crowd of this magnitude and this sort of a fervor going on in Charleston for the Charleston Battery. So it's a plus, and things are going in the right direction for the Charleston Battery, I must say.
All right, we mentioned a couple of the Battery players to watch out for. Just quickly, who should we pay attention to on the DC United team? Obviously, they've got some good players. My picks are Jaime Moreno.
Jaime Moreno, definitely. Roy Lester is always a danger up top, and A.J. Wood, they seem to combine pretty good together. So also, again, we can't take away the presence of Eddie Pope, who's been a stellar performer in the back, not just for DC United, but for the U.S. in general, and quality player. So those players that mentioned are key players to look at tonight.
And as well, G, you talked about Roy Lassiter briefly. He is a former College of Charleston player, and so far this season, he leads the MLS in goals scored. He has 15 goals scored in 19 games, and also leads the MLS with 37 points on the season. And as well, he is an all-time leading MLS goal scorer. And also, they had an article in the local Post and Courier of Lassiter yesterday, and it said that he has an airplane-like winding celebration stroll after he scores a goal. And he said in the article that he would like to score a goal here in Charleston tonight, but for the Charleston Battery, they have Dusty Hudak in net, so this will be a very pivotal match for Dusty Hudak. He has to come up big for the Battery, in which he has done all season long as well, Andrew.
Tell you what, Lassiter may have the airplane, but Clark Brisson has the shark dance.
And when he starts lurking, you better watch out. And that's a good point you touched on, because Clark the Shark, I tell you what, he must be frothing right now at the mouth. I mean, this guy, he wants to get in this game at all costs, and I think you put him in the game if you're in a sort of a pickle. Clark the Shark can change it. He's done it all season long, and I don't expect him to stop.
All right, looks like the referee Kermit Quisenberry is about ready here. Charleston are going to be playing in yellow with black trim, attacking the goal to our left. DC United playing in white, attacking the goal to our right. Great to see Nicky Spooner back on the pitch, captain for the Charleston Battery tonight, and that's a nice first touch from Eddie Rodriguez, who feeds it out to Limniadis, up to Paul Conway, back to Dean Sewell playing right back tonight. Sewell tries to feed it through to Conway, gets cut up by one of the DC players, goes out. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw, about halfway up inside the DC half. Looks like Dean Sewell over to take this throw on for the Charleston Battery. It'd be nice to see the Battery sneak a quick goal here. And throw comes in down the line. Look like Conway took a push. The referee says play on. Battery players are fighting for it down by the corner flag. It goes out. It's going to be a corner for the Charleston Battery. That's a good start.
Great start for the Charleston Battery. I mean, they pressed it quickly. There was no dilly-dallying with the ball in the back. They forced it forward, and they've got a corner out of it. DC United has to be concerned at this point, regardless of the fact that they're number one in the MLS at this point.
Ivo looks like he's going to have a go at this corner with his left foot. Let's hope he can swing this one in. It comes in towards the near post, headed away by one of the defenders, and it goes straight out for another corner. Charleston Battery is second of the night. Immediately, Charleston trying to put some heat on DC United.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. This is what the Battery have to do, especially within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the match in the first half.
Here comes the corner this time. Back post up goes Gilbert Jean-Baptiste. It gets over his head, goes straight out. It's going to be a DC United goal kick, and I imagine Tom Presthus is going to take this in goal tonight for them. Just watching them spread out here. The DC players, that is. Underneath us, Diego Senor. He's an Argentinian, I believe. DC with the ball, trying to bring it out of their defence. Up goes Eddie Rodriguez to put some pressure on them. Now Tally with the ball for United. Up goes Mike Burke. It seems like Charleston are kind of holding their ground tonight. They're usually a bit more aggressive when they're trying to win the ball in midfield. There's a long ball forward towards the left winger. Back goes Dean Sewell. Sewell gets there first, under a bit of pressure, turns away from goal, takes it to the byline, plays it up the line. Poor ball. One back by Todd Miller playing right midfield tonight. Miller loses out on the right-hand side, and DC have the ball back down in the far corner. They bring it back out into midfield. Charleston moving out of defence kind of cautiously. DC United being forced all the way back to their own half. Good work by the Charleston Battery midfield. It looks like Eddie Pope on the ball for DC United. He feeds it forward to his centre back, and there's a nice tackle from Mike Burke in midfield. Almost got there. Now Eddie Pope strides up. He goes down hard. That was a heavy challenge on him. Referee says foul. It's going to be a Charleston Battery free kick, and one of the DC United players kicks the ball away needlessly. I think he's going to get a talking to from Kermit.
Yeah, that's Roy Lassiter right there, who kicked the ball away for DC United on the play there, Andrew, on the right-hand side.
There's Eddie Rodriguez telling the referee to keep his eyes open because there was something going on off the ball there as well.
I think he's actually telling the referee pull the card out. If you're gonna allow Roy Lassiter to play the ball away like that and take away the advantage, you have to give that guy a card, and that's a rightful argument by Rodriguez.
Quite right. Lassiter's an international. He knows the rules. He knows better than that. It's going to be a free kick. Nicky Spooner's going to take it. I love the fact that he's back in the lineup tonight. He gives this team a bit of heart. Here comes the kick from Spooner towards the top of the Charleston Battery box. Rodriguez up with the header, knocks it down, but the United have it back, and now they're coming away with the ball out of midfield. Over goes Evo to force the kick into touch from Tully, I believe that was. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw right underneath the press box here, just about midway up inside the DC half. Quick throw up to Evo on the left-hand side. Evo under pressure from two players, tries to keep it in play. He's under, I think that the referee's saying he had too much of that player behind, and he's going to give a free kick to United. Good start from Charleston, though. Two corners already. It's kind of they're just feeling each other out at the moment, aren't they, G?
It's early, but however, the Charleston Battery has fared very well up to this point, and again, it's still early. They've done great work all around, really pressing the issue and really holding their ground as a team. Team shape has been great thus far. Nice work there by John Wilson. Feeds it back to his goalkeeper, Dusty Hudick. The ball comes free in midfield. Mike Burke with it. Quickly onto it, plays it inside to Evo. Evo first time to Rodriguez, who makes a bit of time for himself. Tries to feed it through. No offside. No, there is an offside. Late flag from the linesman there. Didn't look like an offside. Mike Burke was away down the left-hand side. It's going to be a free kick for DC United, midway up inside their half on this near side.
That was a very close play down the left sideline. Mike Burke, he was all alone, untouched, but the referee calls offsides on the Charleston Battery.
4 minutes gone. Charleston Battery 0. DC United 0. DC with the ball with Payne, of course, the former Battery player, feeds it out to the left back. Up goes Sewell to put the pressure on. DC still in their own half. That's Jaime Moreno with his first touch. He gets the ball back in midfield. Pressure from Limniadis, the Canadian international. Good touch in there, and that ball runs free for Conway in midfield. Conway back to Todd Miller, playing right back. Turns round, lays it off to the reggae boy, Dean Sewell. Sewell cuts inside. Now he tries to feed a long one through towards Mike Burke. It gets cut out and read easily, I must say, by Eddie Pope, who now steps up, and DC cross the halfway line, pushing up into the Charleston Battery half. Let me see, that's Antonio Otero, tries to feed that through. Up goes Sewell, reads that beautifully, cuts it out, shows his class, turns away from goal, goes down on a heavy challenge, and I think he's going to get a free kick for his trouble down by the corner flag.
Well, Andrew, it's also important for the Battery, especially when they have the ball on their defensive third on the side, is that they must avoid turnovers. One of the problems they had earlier this season, also in the middle portion of the season for the Charleston Battery, is that they must avoid turnovers, especially when they have the ball deep in their own zone.
I like the way Charleston are playing right now. Long kick into the DC half from Hudick. Up goes Conway for the header. Doesn't get enough on it, but it goes off a DC player. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on down in their half. There's a quick throw, and it's in the box. Paul Conway in the box for the Battery. Feeds it across the middle. It's taken off the floor from Presthus. Well played by him. It looked like Mike Burke was lurking towards the back post.
And I think Paul Conway got a good tackle from Clint Pierre that really slowed down that ball, because he really went to try to whip that ball across the face of the goal to at least give the keeper somewhat of a torrid situation coming at him. The Charleston Battery, 5 minutes is gone, 6 minutes is gone, and they played well. They see frustration on the part of DC United, Roy Lassiter and the like, and I like what's going on for the Charleston Battery at this point.
Nice touch there from Limniadis, taking it off the foot of Jaime Moreno, who's making a surging run from midfield, gets free at the halfway line. There's a knockback there from one of the DC players, can't see his number, and their keeper has it. I think they're playing 3-5-2, is that right, G?
Yes.
Be interesting to see how that sizes up against the Charleston Battery's more conventional 4-4-2, but of course tonight, Battery with some explosive speed down those wings. That's Moreno with the ball. Nice chip pass through towards the back post. Back goes Dean Saul, gets there first, lays it back for Hudak in goal for the Battery, and he just skies that one into the far stands at about the halfway line. It's going to be a DC United throw-on.
And G as well, especially within the first 6 minutes of the match. You have to like the way the Charleston Battery are taking chances, especially on the offensive end, which is very important within the first critical 20 minutes of this match.
A nice shoulder barge there from Rodriguez onto Moreno, who tries to go past Limniadis. He just says no way and puts that one into touch. It's going to be a DC United throw-on, about at level with the edge of the Charleston Battery box on the far side. We've played 7 minutes. It's still 0-0. Nothing doing down there for the DC United throw. It's too far away. I can't see who it is. Now the ball comes into play down the touchline. Shepherding him across there is Todd Miller, and he gets his foot and knocks it out. It's going to be another DC United throw on this one, a bit closer to the corner flag. Looks like Otero with a throw. He throws it in. It's just inside the box on that far side. It's knocked out by one of the Battery defenders. Now it comes into the middle, whiffed at by Rodriguez, but it falls nicely for Evo, who takes a lot of shirt pulling there. The referee says play on. Looked like it could have been a foul. There's a shot on goal, but that's easy for Hudak, and he gathers that up into his arms, no problem. 7.5 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Great work by Evo, however, losing that ball. Again, the Charleston Battery needs to really spread that ball and spray it as much as they can. Side to side, and then a deliberate pass going forward, looking to spring Mike Burke or Paul Conway. They've done a great job with 7-8 minutes gone in the game, and if they can really keep that and really harness that or almost bottle it, they're in good stead for this contest.
Great touch from Conway, knocks it down to Miller, who surges down towards the byline, turns around, slides it into play, keeps it in play. Free at the back post is Mike Burke. I think it went out. It's going to be a goal kick for DC United. Just a minute ago, I think it was Jeff Unger with the shot for DC United. He's a Canadian international. I'm sure he knows John Limniadis very well. That was unlucky there as Todd Miller just went down that right-hand line easily, wasn't it? And
just a tad too far for him, and it was a great attempt by Todd Miller. Todd Miller, another caliber player for the Charleston Battery, works hard every single time. He's going to give you 110%.
Oh, there's a player free now for United. It's Lassiter at the top of the box, one-on-one, and he get great tackle by John Wilson. He just took that ball away from Lassiter, who took a moment too long, showed his pace there. He got back on level terms with him after he was a couple of yards back. Hudak immediately hoofs it down the field. It goes all the way through, and Presthus is going to have that easily for DC.
How many times have we seen that from John Wilson this season? John Wilson comes out of nowhere, shows his speed, shows his tenacity, and saves goals. I mean, this has been at least the 4th time this season that we've seen that.
Oh, and there was Mike Burke, almost got away there inside the DC United half. They got away with one there, and now there's a good ball down the left-hand line. DC United on the ball. Dean Saul over to cover. Holds his man up outside the box, forces him outside, still fighting for the ball just outside the box. Now it comes inside the box. That's Otero. It gets cut out by Todd Miller. Still DC United have it just outside the box on the far side. Otero tries to spin around. Now he pushes it back towards Unger, and up goes Rodriguez to put pressure on. The ball comes all the way out the right-hand side of Talia. Out it goes to Senor on the right-hand side. He feeds it through towards the back post. Up goes Dean Saul, heads it out, half clears it. Rodriguez skies one a mile high in the air. It's going to come down at the edge of the Charleston Battery box on the far side. Falls nicely for Rodriguez, who gets pushed down for his troubles and wins a free kick for the Charleston Battery. Well played, Rodriguez.
Well, G, as we said earlier, talking about the chances for the Charleston Battery, a great job by John Wilson moments ago, and that's what you have to do, especially against a powerhouse like DC United. You have to take chances, and John Wilson, he did a great job in coming from nowhere on a great recovery as he steals the ball away from Roy Lassiter at the final moments.
Tell you what was encouraging just now was Eddie Pope trying to take it past Paul Conway. He nearly got caught in defence, and there's a lusty challenge on Rodriguez from Unger, the Canadian international. Rodriguez goes down like a sack of potatoes. It's going to be a Charleston Battery free kick just inside the DC half. It looks like Limniadis is going to take this for Charleston. Looks up, waits for his players to get up towards the edge of the DC box. There's 4 Battery players up there. He feeds it out to the left to John Wilson. Wilson turns on the engines, doesn't get past the DC United player, and it's a throw for DC United. Back goes Evo, and that's a heavy challenge on Unger from Levo. Perhaps a bit of revenge, but it's going to be a free kick for DC. Quickly taken, poorly taken. I think they're going to get that again because it came off the referee. It's going to be a DC, no, I'm sorry, it's going to be a Charleston Battery throw, and the referee's not going to help him with that one. Charleston Battery throw at the halfway line. Free kick just at the halfway line on this near side. That's an interesting call.
Interesting call. I'm not sure exactly why, but the Charleston Battery is going to take it.
Great kick through into the boxes. Paul Conway, he almost went down there, stayed on his feet. The referee says play, and he gets it back to Evo on this left-hand side. Evo under a lot of traffic, feeds it into the box towards the back post. Goal! Mike Burke scores for the Charleston Battery with 11 minutes gone. Charleston are up 1-0 against DC United. Brilliant.
Oh, that was a brilliant pass to Mike Burke on the right-hand side, and Burke was wide open there, G, as he puts it right into the net for Charleston Battery for the all-important first goal of the match.
Completely, I mean, completely picked it perfect, and this is what I've talked about in the sense of Ivo. Ivo is a guy, like I told you, who's going to be able to change the game, and he had no fear within himself whatsoever. Eddie Pope, you could have had Franco Baresi of the Italian national team in his heyday. He was going to take him on. He took on two guys and played that ball in and made Mike Burke look like a star, when really all Mike Burke had to do was nudge that in. And great stuff for the Charleston Battery. 11-12 minutes gone in the game. What else do you need for the Charleston Battery? This is totally what the doctor ordered.
Brilliant. 1-0. Jaime Moreno just rode out a very hard challenge from Rodriguez. He's up. He's playing again. Referee said play on because he got all ball. Pope has the ball for DC at the center of the park. Knocks it out to Pay on the left-hand side. Up goes Todd Miller to challenge. Here comes the ball down the line. It's going to be dangerous for Charleston, this one. Back goes Nicky Spooner, knocks it into touch. I think that's going to be a goal kick for Charleston.
Well, Andrew, as we take a look at that replay, what a brilliant cross to Mike Burke as he pounds it into the net from the right-hand side, and to give the Battery an all-important 1-0-0 lead. Beautiful play by Ivo.
It was a picture-perfect cross because the keeper was in a quandary as to, do I come out for that ball? Can I get it? He hesitated, and that hesitation was it. The defender himself hesitated as well, thinking the keeper could get the ball, and it so ended up right at Mike Burke's feet. And great stuff for the Charleston Battery. Totally what the doctor ordered.
Brilliant start. It looks like DC have got a free kick on the far side. It's knocked back to Eddie Pope, who seemed pivotal in every single attack that they muster up against this Charleston team. He knocks it out to Tally on this near side, still inside his own half. Up goes Mike Burke to challenge. They swing the ball out to Pay on the left-hand side. Paul Conway there immediately. They have to play it inside to Eddie Pope, still inside his own half. He tries to feed one up to Otero. Otero gets it out to Tully on this near side, and DC string a few passes together here. Now it's back with Tully. Tries to flick it through. John Wilson there for the Charleston Battery. He's going to have to get there quick. He beats Senor. Plays it inside to Nicky Spooner. Under pressure, gets it up to Eddie Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to Spooner, first time up to the halfway line. Pope gets that easily for DC United, and Charleston are going to have to weather this storm, aren't they, G? I think DC are coming out again.
And, I mean, the Charleston Battery has to expect that, but what I've seen and I've loved is the team shape. It's really been a sort of an immaculate setting for the team shape here tonight. Normally you see them get caught a lot, flat at the back, playing the flat back four. That's not the case tonight. The Charleston Battery is dropping back, they're moving laterally with the ball and covering the holes.
Unger with a heavy challenge on Conway. The referee says play on. It's fed up towards Lassiter at the top of the box. He plays it back to Unger. Battery holding on right here. There's Tully at the edge of the box. Half shot on goal. That's going to go out at the edge of the box. It's going to be a goal kick for the Charleston Battery. We've played 14 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery 1, DC United 0.
Well, Andrew, 14 minutes gone by. When you compare tonight's match so far and compare it to Sunday's at Lehigh Valley, this is a very different Charleston Battery club and performing. This has been a great job by the Battery tonight. And remember, back on Sunday, they came out flat and really didn't turn it on until the late stages of the second half.
Paul Conway fighting in midfield. That's right, Herman. It's still bubbling around. Up goes Limnialis, wins that header in the air, knocks it through towards Rodriguez, but Unger gets there first for DC. That's Senor on the near side. He plays it back to Tully, his right back, playing the 3-5-2 tonight, of course. DC United, great ball from him out to the left midfield. Over goes Dean Saw to challenge. The ball's dinked through the middle towards Jaime Moreno, but he can't get in front of John Limnialis. Gets it up to Dean Saw, who dinks past two players, makes some time for himself, plays it back to Limnialis. Under pressure, very coolly knocks that out to Todd Miller, who looks like he's dropped into right back. Long ball up from Todd Miller. There's no one going to get there in time, and that's going to run all the way through to Presthus in goal for DC United.
And Todd Miller had the right idea. You knock the ball out 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 passes in the back. You really want to have that one of the strikers making that run outside. Mike Burke or Paul Conway really should have been making that run. That's something that they need to work on as the game goes on to make sure they have that option going forward.
As Conway with the ball in midfield, plays it back to Dean Saul, just turns beautifully away from his man. Now he tries to feed a long one up to Mike Burke, who's just offside. Burke looks, he's on fire tonight. He's dangerous, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he's chomping at it, and he really wants another one. How frequently have we seen the Charleston Battery up a goal with 12 minutes gone? I mean, in the first half. I mean, that's not natural. I mean, for the Charleston Battery. So it really shows what they want to do tonight. They've come out to play football.
Yeah, that's right, G. Talking about Mike Burke, we haven't seen Mike Burke on fire since the early portion of the season.
There's some nice work by Eddie Rodriguez in midfield for the Battery. Wins that ball, rides out the challenge, wins the 50-50, gets it out to Limniadis in midfield on this near side. Limniadis tried to knock it up to Burke, who was just coming off the offside. They're playing a bit of a trap on him at the moment after his goal in the 12th minute, and DC United have the ball back on this near side with Senora. He knocks it back to Pope, who, as I said before, seems pivotal in this DC United performance. He knocks it out to Pei on the left-hand side. Pei up the line. Up goes Dean Sewell with a heavy challenge. The referee's going to give him a free kick for that, just inside the Battery half on the far side. We've played 16.5 minutes at Blackboard Stadium. Charleston Battery 1, DC United 0.
All around a solid performance of the Charleston Battery. I mean, with 16 minutes or so gone in the game, they've really come out and they've really stood steadfast in what they came out here to do tonight, and they've made a meal of it. And DC United really is on their heels.
As Jaime Moreno almost managed to feed it through to Senor there, but back was Ivo challenging and getting the tackle in for the Battery. Nice work by Mike Burke coming back. Now the ball comes in towards the middle. Down goes Nicky Spooner, takes that on his chest, gets it to Rodriguez, who calmly dinks it out to Todd Miller. Nice work by the Battery. Dean Sewell on the ball, plays it a long way up the line for Paul Conway to chase down this right-hand side. Pay's going to get there first, so hopefully under pressure he knocks it back to his goalkeeper. Conway continues his run. The keeper's under pressure in the box. He manages to get it out to his right-back Tully, who faces Ivo and plays it up to Moreno at the halfway line. DC putting some passes together here. Quick work by Mike Burke, gets his foot in, almost stole it from Moreno. Nice little shove there from Rodriguez to welcome Moreno to the game. And now Pei crosses the halfway line for DC on the far side. He feeds it up the line, back goes Dean Sewell, gets in front of the ball. The ball comes to the middle, it's knocked out into touch by Todd Miller. It's going to be a DC United throw halfway up inside the Charleston Battery box.
Critical recovery by Dean Sewell. I mean, he got a little touch on the ball to really slow it down as it came across and made it an easy clearance for the Charleston Battery. Great work by Dean Sewell.
And there's a nice flick through towards Laster at the top of the box. It's hoofed clear by Nicky Spooner. Challenging is Mike Burke just inside the Battery half. Eddie Pope on the ball in the centre circle under no pressure right now. Tries to feed it through the middle. Up goes Nicky Spooner. Forces the ball back to the halfway line. DC still pushing forward with Moreno, and that's a strong challenge by Limniadis, who just strides past Moreno. Moreno kicks him from behind. That's got to be a yellow card. He was well away. That was a careless kick from Moreno, and he just took his ankles away, and we saw a player get sent off for that last week against Lee Valley.
I'm not comprehending what the referee's doing. I mean, fouls like that have to be, you have to put the guys in the book, or else it's going to get progressively worse as the game goes on. I mean, Lassiter frustrated early on in 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Jaime Moreno thinking you should not have stolen that ball from me, so I'm going to clip your legs from behind. Those things really needs to be stopped by the referee tonight.
A little bit of frustration as this free kick comes in towards the edge of the box. It drops inside the box, comes to Todd Miller at the edge. He has a shot on goal. It takes a deflection off Pei. I think that's going to be another Charleston Battery corner.
Well, gee, so far in the first 19 minutes of the match, it seems to me that the Battery have DC United where they want them, because the Battery have done everything so far in which they had to do. In the first 20 minutes of this match, they had to come out strong, which they did, and also that key goal by Mike Burke at the 12-minute mark really to put DC United on their heels.
It's going to be Ivailo, Ilarionov, Ivo as they know him here at the board, with the free kick for the Charleston Battery on that far side. He's going to swing this in with his left. Ball comes in towards the near post. Poor corner, it goes straight out. It's going to be a DC United goal kick. He's going to be upset with that, as I imagine certain other people are.
I think he's going to ask for that one back if at all possible, because he really made a mess of that corner. However, the Charleston Battery really has their heads up at this point. I mean, 20 minutes or so gone. Critical portion of the match, the first 20 minutes, and the Charleston Battery came out and said, we're here to play.
Great pass there from Unger out to Pei on the left-hand side for DC. He cuts inside and feeds one to this near side, top of the box, headed back into the middle. Over goes John Wilson, heads it out towards Ivo, who brings it down nicely with his back to goal, plays it to Conway, who gets it out somehow to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with a great ball for Mike Burke to chase down. Burke speeds past his marker. Now he turns towards goal at the top of the box, cuts past his man, cuts past another. One more, a shot on goal by Mike Burke, just wide. Just wide. I tell you what, he had them looking at him. They didn't know what to do, and he just put it wide.
Yeah, that's right. He had his man beat, especially. That's a good point there, Andrew, as Mike Burke races from the left side, then cuts to the top of the box, and then fires a shot which sails wide at the left end line. But that was a good point, Andrew. Mike Burke, he did have his man beaten.
And that's what we've not seen really from Mike Burke, the great runs to free himself up and then be able to turn on the defender and come at him. When Mike Burke does that, I mean, 5-10 yards to run at you, you are in trouble as a defender. You'd have to be a world-class defender to be able to stop Mike Burke when he's coming at you with that speed.
Great work by John Wilson down by the corner flag on the near side, wins that off Senor, knocks it up to Ivo. Ivo heads towards the halfway line, looks for some runs here, takes it on his own, and Rodriguez is a mile offside. Now the ball comes out to Rodriguez. Rodriguez still offside. It's going to be a free kick to the DC United. About halfway up inside their own half on this near side. Ivo just held on to it 1 second too long.
I'm not sure if he did. Can you say more about Ivo? I mean, he really tried to ask Rodriguez to come on back because he actually saw him offside on the first play, held it up a little, asked him to come back, and then try to play it again. But great work. I mean, Ivo is this guy. He's a quality player, and he can, again, change the face of a game.
Up goes Spooner, doesn't win that head, but it drops down nicely for Dean Sewell, who just plays it back to Huduk, who controls it with his right foot rather calmly, and he's under no pressure, so he feeds it out to John Wilson on the left-hand side. Wilson playing left back tonight. Wilson up to Ivo at the halfway line. First time inside to John Limniadis. Back to Wilson, under pressure from Moreno. Plays it all the way up the line towards Mike Burke, but Burke doesn't get a challenge in, but the ball's won in midfield by Rodriguez and Ivo. Rodriguez to Conway to Miller, first time ball to Ivo, and Ivo's offside again. That offside trap's working well for DC United tonight. They've got another free kick from about the same place as last time, just inside their own half on this near side. We've played 22 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium. It's Charleston Battery 1, DC United 0.
Well, G, you talked about Ivo a few moments ago. Ivo, within the last 2.5 weeks, has really picked up the notch for the Charleston Battery and has been a great spark in the Charleston offense.
He didn't have such a good weekend last weekend, but the weekend before he played really well. He scored 2 goals, of course. Here's Moreno for DC United. Knocks it through towards the edge of the box. The player goes down. The referee says play on. It's going to be a break here for the Charleston Battery. Conway on the ball at the halfway line. Mike Burke starts his run. Oh, it just gets cut out. I don't know that Eddie Pope knew about that. It kind of hit him in the back, and DC United have the ball back just inside the Battery. Half danger here for the Battery. This ball comes through towards the edge of the box. Huduk out quickly, grabs that one off the feet of the advancing midfielder, and the Battery have it back with Dean Sewell on the right-hand side.
Well, keep in mind, G, Dusty Huduk, he does have MLS experience, and he is very capable in the back for the Charleston Battery.
Yeah, Huduk started the season with Miami Fusion, and there's Dean still just tearing down the right-hand side. He gets in past his man. He's in the box. He's free. Waits for Mike Burke at the top of the box. He's in! Great goal, Dean Sewell! Great goal. Somehow he beat the keeper on his near post. He's going to be upset about that, but right now no one cares because after 23 minutes, the Charleston Battery are up on DC United 2-0.
A cardinal sin for the goalkeeper. You never get beaten on your first post. And somehow Dean Sewell pulls out something out of a magician type deal and beats the keeper in the first post. You do not see that at almost any level of the game. And Dean Sewell, I mean, really and truly, you looked at it, it was a brilliant play from the start. I mean, Dean Sewell made that run from behind his half, then beat his man with immaculate speed, and had the presence of mind to strike that ball with the outside of his foot to catch the goalkeeper going for the cross. Unbelievable play by Dean Sewell.
And Dean Sewell, he does a flip after that tremendous goal for the Charleston Battery. And as we said all season long, Andrew, Dean Sewell with outstanding speed and great moves, and it really pays off for the Charleston Battery. They have a 2-0 lead.
He left Pay standing as
he turned on the afterburners, Andrew. There was no stopping Dean Sewell at that point.
Now United come forward into the Battery half. There's a lunging tackle from Ivo, and the player continues his run. That's Senor just inside the box, and that's a poor kick from him. It goes straight out. It's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick. We have played 24 minutes here. It's the Charleston Battery 2, DC United 0. I tell you what, Dean Sewell just showed. I mean, he's an international player. Plays for Jamaica. Just turned on the engines and went past Pay easily. I mean,
the PA looked like he was in reverse pretty much. I mean, that's how we say it. I mean, he started that run from about 10 yards behind Pay and was able to beat him with just raw speed by Dean Sewell. Great work all around. DC United is not sure exactly what is happening here. 24 minutes to go in Charleston. The hospitability of the Charleston community is all gone where DC United is concerned. I mean, they're not a friendly sight at this point, and they're showing it.
Yeah, you can forget about Southern hospitality here at Blackboard Stadium. There's a heavy, lusty challenge from Limniadis on Senor. It's going to be a free kick for DC. I'm sorry, by Rodriguez on Senor. Rodriguez bigger than Limniadis, of course. It's going to be a DC United free kick just inside Charleston's half, about in the center of the pitch. Long kick forward towards the back post. Up goes Dean Sewell. Doesn't win the header. Up goes Limniadis. Wins the second one. Knocks it halfway out. Nice work by Paul Conway to win that back for the Battery. Now Todd Miller with the ball inside the Battery half. Feeds it out to Rodriguez on this near side. Under pressure from 2 players. Knocks it out to Ivo. Ivo across the halfway line. Under pressure again from 2 players. He goes down. Tackle from behind by the Canadian international Unger. He's going to get a yellow card for his trouble. I tell you what, DC United look at 6s and 7s here. It's going to be a Charleston Battery free kick just inside DC's half.
Well, also keep in mind as well, Andrew, the Battery with a 2-0 lead at the 25th minute mark. What's also important for Charleston is that they must maintain their composure and also still play consistent 90 minutes of football. As Dean Sewell told us earlier in the season, that's been one of the problems for Charleston, so they must be able to continue this offensive intensity.
That's right, Herman. Nicky Spooner's going to take this free kick for the Battery, feeds this one in towards Rodriguez in the center of the park. He takes a punch off the back of his head from the goalkeeper, who just manages to get the ball away. Well played, Rodriguez. Forces the goalie to make a save. DC United have the ball back inside their own half. They've knocked out Depay on the left-hand side. Playing left back tonight. He heads up towards the halfway line. Battery slow getting back, but I think they're all back now. The ball's in the center of the park with Unger. Mike Burke trying to challenge. The ball is passed out by Unger to Pay on the left-hand side. Back inside now to Unger. Quick work by Mike Burke. The ball's fed through towards the top of the box. Easily read by Nicky Spooner, who gets that up to Ivo at the halfway line. Ivo under pressure. Poor pass by him, and DC United have the ball back just inside the Battery half on the far side. Over goes Todd Miller to, Limniadis to challenge now. The ball's still inside the Battery half. Now it's towards the edge of the box. Up goes Dean Sewell to put some pressure on, wins the ball for the Battery. Well played, but he knocks it out. There's no one there for Charleston. They're really weathering a storm here with this 2-goal lead under their belts right now. That's Moreno at the edge of the box. Diving shot by him. Great shot goal. That's a great goal by Moreno. I don't know how he got that one. He just knocked it into the top left-hand corner. Hudok's beaten ends down 2-1.
And that is the potency of players like Jaime Moreno and a lot of the players that you're going to see on DC United. Out of nowhere, I mean, it looked really harmless. I mean, he controlled the ball with one touch and then struck almost on the turn, beating Dusty Hudok, catching him off the line and really just finding the top corner of the net to the right-hand side. Great goal by Jaime Moreno. However, you touched on a point earlier on, Herman, where the Charleston Battery weather the storm and actually play a full 90. They're expending a major amount of energy. I mean, this is the first time I've seen them come to the sidelines that much for water. Players one after the other coming for water, showing the fact that we're working immensely.
It's my Burke free in the box. Oh, it just got away from him. Goes through to the keeper, Prestos. He picks it up, no problem. That was a brilliant goal by Moreno. It was absolutely beautifully struck from the left-hand top of the box. He just knocked that past Hudok.
He made it look very easy, very easily.
World-class goal as DC United again come down the line. That's Moreno against Limniadis. Limniadis holds him up just outside the Battery box, down by the touchline. It comes into the middle, comes across the middle. It's still free in the box. Not clear by Conway, who wins the second ball, and he comes away with the ball for the Charleston Battery in their midfield. Tries to knock it up towards Mike Burke. Burke's not going to get there first. DC have the ball back, and now they're pushing forward again into the Charleston Battery half. This is dangerous for Charleston. 28 minutes gone, 2-1 to the Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
Well, G, right there on that goal by Moreno, he shows why he is on the Bolivian national team. What a tremendous shot from the left-hand side over the outstretched fingertips of Dusty Hudok as it goes into the net for DC United at the 28th minute mark. We're still early, 2-1 in favor of Charleston. Still a long way to go here, G.
Long way to go, Herman. And again, that is something that may or may not actually work against the Charleston Battery. Again, I touched on it earlier. They're really expending. They're really out there. I mean, those guys, they're playing their lights out right now. Can they keep it up? I mean, the Charleston Battery really has not scored 2 goals in the first half in about out of how many games have we played? 19, 20 games. We have not scored 2 goals in the first half in at least 4 or 5 of them. They've scored 2 against the top-class team of DC United with world-class individuals on this roster. So the Charleston Battery really is playing in another zone at this point, and hopefully they can keep it up for 90 minutes.
Paul Conway just goes into the book there for a heavy challenge on Clint Pay on the far side. It's going to be a DC United free kick just inside their own half on the far side of the pitch. DC playing in white, attacking the goal to our right. Charleston in yellow with black trim attacking the goal to our left. Charleston currently with a 2-1 lead. We're still in the first half, played 30 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. That's Moreno on the ball for DC United. Nice back heel for him up towards Pay. Good tackle there by Paul Conway. Goes past Moreno himself, heads up towards the halfway line. Mike Burke starts his run, holds off. Now he gets the ball just inside DC's half. He couldn't control it, and United have the ball back just inside their own half in the center of the puck. That's Tully on the ball. Senyor's free here on the right-hand side. He gets the ball at the halfway line, just pushes it across the halfway line and holds things up. I thought the referee had called for a foul, but he hadn't. Senor with plenty of time here on the right-hand side knocks it to Eddie Pope in the center. Pope up to Moreno turns towards goal, just moving into the Charleston Battery half. Now he tries to take on Limniadis, tries to feed it through. Dean Sewell there for the Charleston Battery, hoofs this one clear into the DC United there. No one there for the Charleston Battery, and that runs through to press the single for DC, who just knocks that up to Eddie Pope.
Well, perhaps that was the smartest thing to do right there for Dean Sewell and the Battery, just hoof it away to try to get his team a breather.
There's a heavy, lusty challenge by Todd Miller there on Otero. Otero goes down, gets the free kick for DC, quickly plays it out to Pay on the left-hand side. Up the line from Pay. Dean Sewell there for the Charleston Battery. Forces the player inside. Now that's a good ball into the box. Moreno there, knocked into touch by Limniadis against Moreno. It's going to be the first corner kick of the night for DC United. We've played 31 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium. It's Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
The Charleston Battery, their backs are against the wall to some degree right now. This game of football is a game of pendulum swings where momentum is concerned, and I think the pendulum has swung in the favor of DC United since that Jaime Moreno goal. They've really stepped it up just a bit.
There's Otero with a corner, comes into the middle, it's bobbling around. I think that's going to fall for Limniadis, who just knocks that one up towards the halfway line. Pay there for the DC United team, and he heads it into touch. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on midway up inside their own half, quickly taken by Conway to Wilson. Wilson gets the ball back from Conway, knocks it up to Rodriguez, back to John Wilson on this near side, under pressure, kicks this one up towards, passes it up towards Mike Burke at the halfway line, who can't do anything in the air tonight against Pay, and DC United have the ball back. I think the referee stopped play for something. Do you see what that was, G?
Limniadis is down in the box, and the DC United team respectfully plays the ball out of play so that we can get some assistance over there from the bench.
To get more information on the Battery, log on to www.charlestonbattery.com. That's www.charlestonbattery.com to get the latest information on Charleston's soccer team.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure if Limniadis is actually injured. If he is, actually it's a good thing at this point if he's able to get back up and play. If he's not, he's really showing his world-class pedigree in the sense of he's seen the fact that there's a sort of a swing in momentum. I've got a little nudge. I'm going to go down. I'm going to get my teammates to regroup, so to speak, get some water, whatever's necessary to replenish the immense amount of energy they've spent thus far. And so it might be a good move right here by Limniadis. Great work, Limniadis.
Yeah, possible bit of gamesmanship there. I tell you what, I'm just noticing not just the Battery players, also the DC United players flocking towards the benches like sheep. They're very thirsty. They're consuming a lot of water out there. It's an extremely hot night here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. And as well, keep in mind that DC United, they have not played a full match in regular season play in 10 days with their 2-0 victory over New England. So when you take a look, especially in the first 15 minutes of the first half, maybe DC United were a little bit sluggish, but the Battery took advantage of that with those all-important 2 first-half goals, one by Burke at the 12th minute mark and the other one by Dean Sewell, a brilliant goal from the right side at the 24th minute mark.
That's one that the DC United keeper's going to want to forget, I believe. That's a sportingly kicked back into the DC half by Dusty Hudak, and Eddie Pope immediately just brings that ball down beautifully, just kills it in his own half, knocks it out to Pay on the left-hand side. Now DC United cross the Battery half with Moreno. He turns back inside on the far side, flicks it through towards the top of the box. Great head there by Limniadis. Really saved a shot on goal there for DC United, but they still have the ball at the edge of the Charleston Battery box. Up goes Rodriguez, forces the ball out to the right-hand side with Tully. He knocks it up again, and there's Mike Burke just does enough to win that ball for the Battery. Conway back to Burke, under pressure on this near side, still in his own half, turns it inside, pushes it off his man. He wins a throw-on for the Charleston Battery just inside their own half. We've played 34 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium. It's the Battery 2, DC United 1. Well played, Mike Burke there. He just did enough, didn't he?
He did, and great work, I mean, because he really was playing against 2 defenders, the line and the guy coming behind him, and was able to do a positive thing and win a throw-in in the process.
Long kick up by Hudak towards Paul Conway on the right-hand side. It drops down inside the Battery half. Dean Sewell, who turns towards the DC United goal. Now he feeds a long one up towards the edge of the box for Conway. It's going to run too far, and Prestos comes out and takes that nicely in his midriff, and he has that ball safely in his arms. We've played 35 minutes, still 2-1 Charleston. Long throw out from Prestos to the halfway line, practically. DC with the ball just inside their own half. Now they knock it out the right side towards Senora. John Wilson over to cover for the Battery. Quick ball down for Lassiter. Edge of the box on the right-hand side. Over goes Baptiste to cover. Turns Lassiter away towards the line. Now the ball comes into the middle, headed out by Nicky Spooner. Only as far as a DC United player. It's Moreno again on the ball. Turns past Limniadis. He's inside the box. Danger here for the Battery. tackle there from Dean Sewell, just enough, forces the ball outside the box. DC still with the ball, pushing towards this Battery goal. Up goes Evo, and now Battery have forced DC back to the halfway line. Pope with the ball. He calmly plays it out to Pei, the former Battery player, who knocks it back to Pope, who now strides forward into the Battery half. Charleston really back on their heels here in the first half. Now the ball's with Senor on the right-hand side. Good tackle by Mike Burke, just doesn't have wins. It gets it to John Wilson, who knocks it past his man up to Mike Burke, who couldn't win that ball. He didn't really go in hard enough on the 50-50. Eddie Rodriguez does go in hard on the 50-50 and wins that ball for the Charleston Battery. I think Battery are going to have a throw midway up inside their own half. In their own half, we played 36 minutes here. It's 2-1 to the Charleston Battery.
Well, G, as you noticed just a few seconds ago, Eddie Rodriguez was really frustrated on the Battery's inability to bring the ball up across the midfield line. As you saw that he kicked the ball out of play because Eddie Rodriguez was really frustrated for the Battery.
Yeah, he brings a bit of heart to this Battery team. He's a big man. He's a big player, a big game player tonight, and a lot of Battery players are going to have to do that themselves. Here's Pei on the ball for the DC United. Knocks it across the halfway line. Over goes Paul Conway to hold things up there in midfield. Still with DC United on the far side. They're hugging the touchline. Back to Pei, playing left back tonight. He knocks it across the middle to Jaime Moreno, who turns towards John Limniadis, the Canadian international. Limniadis holds things up. That's a nice ball from Moreno, but that's a strong challenge by Nicky Spooner, and he just kicks that all the way back into the DC half. Pope trots back, retrieves the ball, and now he crosses the halfway line for DC. Long ball from him towards the edge of the box. Great work by Gilbert Jean-Baptiste, and the ball's free in the box, but now Huduk has it. No problem for him, and I think he's going to take his time with this one. Great piece of work by Gilbert Jean-Baptiste there.
The Charleston Battery really are on their heels. They're on their heels not in the sense of, look at the team itself. The team shape is really set. I'm dropping all the way back about 10 yards outside of my 18-yard area, and that's not something you want to do at this point. You really got to keep going forward. You really got to keep pressing it. That's brought you a good 14 in the first half, and the first 20 minutes or so, you've got to keep pushing it. But right now they're playing a sort of a defensive. They're taking up sort of a defensive posture coming down to the end of the half, and I'm not sure that that's a wise choice.
Yeah, that's right, G. That's a good point, because right now the Battery have a bend but not break style type of defense. Seems like it is working right now, but as you said, it won't work, especially against a team like DC United for full 90 minutes, especially in this second half as we go into. But right now, as you talked about, G, the Battery with a 2-goals-to-1 lead. I'd like to see Charleston with some more offense to try to bring in one more decent attack in the late stages of the first half, however.
Yeah, we've still got 7 minutes to go here at Blackboard Stadium in the first half. Charleston Battery with a 2-1 lead over DC United. Here's Huduk with a long kick into the United half. It's about the edge of the box, headed away by Eddie Pope. Flick through to Otero, still inside the DC United half. Up goes Dean Sewell to challenge. Battery trying to put the pressure on DC United inside their own half. Pope again with the ball. Last man of defense for them. He knocks it up towards Unger, who's dropped out of midfield now. Plays a great ball out to Senor on this near side, still inside his own half. He feeds one up the line towards Laster, who controls that nicely, turns, knocks it up for Moreno, who's made a nice run from midfield. Over goes Limniadis to challenge. The ball comes into the box. Over goes Nicky Spooner, gets there first, knocks it into touch. Well played, Nicky Spooner, who says he was pushed. The referee agrees. It's going to be a Charleston Battery free kick inside the box.
Great defensive effort by Nicky Spooner, because that was really a picture-perfect ball that Jaime Moreno played into the box. Jaime Moreno is a quality individual, I mean, and he's shown it. He scored a brilliant goal, and he's really roaming the field and doing at will what he wants, and really players are dropping off of Jaime Moreno. I think the best thing really to do at this point may be really to try to put a man marker on Jaime Moreno, because he's the soul of the attack right now.
Nice 1-2 there from Laster to Pei. Long ball forward from Pei again. It's too much on it. Huduk out quickly. Plays it up to the halfway line to Todd Miller, who's been quiet this first half. He plays it inside to Rodriguez, who tries to first time it up for Dean Sewell. That runs through easily for Pope in defense for DC United, and DC United regain possession just inside their own half. Almost 40 minutes gone. 5 minutes to go of this first half. Still 2-1 to the Charleston Battery. That's Tully on the near side. He plays it up the line towards Senor. Knocks it inside for Moreno. Strong challenge by Limniadis, who's under pressure from two players. Manages to get it to Rodriguez. First time to John Wilson. First time from him to Evo. That's good work from the Battery. Long ball forward there through for Paul Conway. First time ball through. It just hit the back of Conway's heels. Otherwise, he was through.
Paul Conway's going to ask for that back, because he had a clear run and goal at that ball when he was played by Evo. Evo's doing it. He's done it in the first 10 minutes. He's done it in the 20 minutes gone in the game, and he's still doing it with about 5 minutes left in the game.
DC attacking from the edge of the box with Moreno under pressure, though. He just manages to get it clear to Otero. Otero out to the right-hand side. Sewell over to challenge. 1 against 1 here. He takes it down the line. It comes towards the back post. That goes all the way over everybody. and out into touch. It's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick on the near side. We've played just over 40 minutes here at Blackboard Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
Well, gee, you talked about Nicky Spooner a few minutes ago. Well, Nicky Spooner for the Battery is glad to see Nicky Spooner back in the lineup because in his 6-game suspension, the Battery were only 2-4 and they struggled, especially in their last 2 matches, including those 2 road games at Pittsburgh and Lehigh Valley. So Nicky Spooner has done a tremendous job for the Battery in the lineup in the first half tonight.
Yeah, it was a harsh suspension, really. Got a 6-game suspensions for what they called a dangerous tackle, but the referee didn't even give him a yellow card for it during the game.
The irony of it all, wasn't it? Because he never got a card. He was never called for the foul. Yet still 2 games later or subsequently, he's suspended for 6. And that's the nature of the game. I mean, it happens all around the world. Unfortunate for Nicky Spooner at that point.
And the Battery, as we went into the middle of the season, that's Pay with the ball for the DC United. Tries to feed it up the line. Half blocked by the Battery, but it's Moreno lurking at the edge of the box. He feeds it through into the box. Huduk's going to get there first, and actually he has time to control it with his feet. And he's just waving his players up. I think he wants to kick this one long as we approach the end of this first half. It's been a very, very tense first half. Battery went 2 goals up. DC United have clawed 1 back. It's still Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1. Huduk taking plenty of time to kick this one. He just nudges it outside the box. Now he looks up, and now he launches one deep into the DC United half. Up goes Rodriguez at the edge of the box. Pay gets his head to it, heads it up into midfield. Evo there to challenge, but he doesn't get the ball. And that's Senor on the ball now, just underneath us on this near side. He just crosses the halfway line. Now he tries to feed it up towards Moreno, lurking at the edge of the box. He takes it inside the box. Back is Limnianis. He gets the ball across to Lassiter in the middle, who feeds it back to the number 7, who has a shot, but that's high. Just, well, I say just, it's about 3 feet over the bar. It's going to be another Charleston Battery goal kick. Who was that who had that shot? Number 7 for
that's Wood.
DC United Wood.
Well, Andrew, talking about this first half, it was a very up-tempo first half by both squads. When you take a look at that first 25 minutes of the first half, perhaps the finest performance of the Charleston Battery all season long, G. They had the great offense, they did not make mistakes, and they really put DC United on their heels.
And if you're going to come out and play one of your best games, it has to be tonight, and the Charleston Battery has done that. And they've stood steadfast up to the point of about, I'd say, about 10 minutes or so ago. Soon after Jaime Moreno scored that goal, the Charleston Battery has gone back on their heels, playing somewhat defensively and really trying to weather the storm, waiting for that halftime whistle to go.
Is Eddie Pope once more, feeds this through to the edge of the box towards Lassiter. It's behind the Battery defender, John Wilson, but Lassiter has to turn away from goal, gets it to Senor. Great tackle by John Wilson, who I think controlled that with his hand. That's going to be dangerous for the Battery. It's going to be a free kick for DC United just outside the box on this near side. I'd say 2 feet towards the touchline, outside the box. I wonder who's going to have a go from here. I don't know whether they could shoot on goal or what, G.
A good left-footed striker on outside the right would work. However, I think we may see an inside the foot right swinger coming in, trying to force those guys on top of the 6-yard box to come in charging at Dusty Huduk.
And the referee's just telling the DC United players to get back a few yards. I think they try to steal a couple of yards. The Battery wall is stealing about 15 yards right now. They're being pushed back. The FIFA regulation 10 yards. Nicky Spooner, Todd Miller and Evo in the wall. Now the free kick comes in towards the box, headed away quickly by Eddie Rodriguez. Great strong header by him. It goes all the way into touch. It's going to be a DC United throw on midway up inside the Charleston Battery half on this near side. Senor with the throw, throws it into touch to Wood. Into play to Wood. The ball comes across the middle to a free man for United. Knocked all the way across to the left-hand side. Up goes Dean Saw to challenge. The ball comes towards the back post. It goes out. No problem for Huduk, who just said, let that one go. It's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick. And we have less than a minute to play in the first half. It's still 2-1 to the Battery.
Well, Jay, also we have to keep in mind for the Charleston Battery is that the crowd really have to support the Battery, especially in critical moments like that with that free kick by DC United on the right-hand side. But you have to give the crowd credit. They really have supported the Battery in this first half.
John Wilson with a long giveaway kick there, but it falls nicely for Rodriguez at the halfway line. He powers through, knocks it through to Mike Burke on the left-hand side. Burke turns towards goal, feeds a long pass out towards Conway. Conway heads it on towards Miller in the box, and there's a great work by Eddie Pope really defensively. Just stood his ground and let his goalkeeper come out and take it away from Miller, but that was good stuff from the Battery as we approach the end of this first half. DC United still with possession. They knock it through towards the edge of the box. Over goes Dusty Hood, who gets there first and kicks that one high and long into the stands at the halfway line. It's going to be a DC United throw. We've played 45 minutes of football here at Blackboard Stadium. It's still 2-1 to the Battery. I'm not sure how much injury time we have. That's the throw into play. Eddie Pope on the ball for DC United in the center of the park. looks up, feeds it out to Tully on this right-hand side, this near side. He knocks it back to Pope, who's had an indifferent game tonight, let's say, but he's been pivotal in every attack we've seen, and that's good work by Gilbert Jean-Baptiste, who knocks that into touch off one of the DC players. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw-on midway up inside their own half on the far side.
Coach Alan Dix really hoping to hear that whistle. I think he's hearing it even now. It's the signal the end of play for the first half. The Charleston Battery definitely wants to go into the locker room 2-1 up against this DC United powerhouse. They've done the work again on their heels past 20 minutes or so, but they've done good work thus far for the Charleston Battery.
Yeah, they've played great in front of over 5,000 people here at Blackboard Stadium. Down goes Paul Conway from a push from behind from Pay. The referee says play on, but Rodriguez is there, cuts that ball out for the Battery, surges through the midfield. Good tackle from Pay to win that ball back for the Battery. And there's a heavy challenge from Todd Miller on one of the DC players. It's going to be a free kick for DC United, still inside their own half, and we have played well over 45 minutes here. I'm not sure how much injury time the ref's going to add on, but as we stand right now, the Battery's still with a 2-1 lead. There's a long ball up from Pope towards Moreno at the edge of the box, beautifully taken on his right foot by Sewell, who just launches that back into the DC half. Paul Conway over there to challenge Pope for the ball. Pope gets there first, trots back, keeps that ball in play, plays it back to his keeper, who just knocks it out to Tally on this near side. He's inside his own half. He strolls up towards the halfway line. Now he plays it inside to Pope, still inside the DC half. Another long ball from Pope, this time towards the left winger, and I think Dean Sewell's going to get there first, down by the corner flag. He does, kicks it into the crowd. It's going to be a DC United throw-on midway up inside their own half. On the far side of the pitch, looks like Clint Payee, the former Battery player, is going to take this throw for United. Throws it back towards Moreno. Moreno with the ball, heads towards the top of the box, tries to take on Todd Miller, gets past him, feeds it up to Lasta, gets the 1-2 back. Moreno, nice work from him. Shot blocked by John Limnianis. Mike Burke with the ball, tries to feed it through to Todd Miller, and the ball gets cut out, and that's DC United still on the ball now, just outside the Battery box as they push, as we head towards the end of this first half. Long ball into the box from one of the DC United midfielders. Huduk comes out, grabs it, no problem, and we must be headed towards halfway.
Is this a long period of injury time or what? It's long for us sitting here. Think about the players in the field who've been kicking that ball as far as they can up for the Charleston Battery. And I think they've... no, they've not. I mean, he's still going. I think he's going to go all the way to 90 minutes. I don't think he's going to take a break.
Maybe he's going to play the full 90 and get rid of the half-time. Why not? He's looking at his watch now. He's still not blowing. The whistle's in his mouth. Now he takes it out. DC United again with the ball pushing towards the Battery goal. Now the referee does blow his whistle. Finally, he blows his whistle. And we head towards half-time here at Blackboard Stadium on Daniel Island in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston with a commanding 2-1 lead over DC United. Great half from Charleston.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. A great first half by the Charleston Battery. Mike Burke got us started for Charleston on the goal at the 12th minute mark on a great assist by Evo. And then Dean Sewell at the 24th minute mark gives the Charleston Battery a 2-0 lead on a brilliant charge from the right-hand side as he knocks it into the net from the left-hand side. And then the Battery had a huge 2-0 lead. And then Moreno at the 28th minute mark from the left side on a brilliant kick as it goes over the outstretched fingertips of Dusty Huduk on the left-hand side of the net from the Bolivian national team. And then that cut the deficit to within 1. But within, as you said, a good point, within the last 20 minutes of the first half, DC United with that all-out pressure. But as we said, the Battery had a bend but not break style of defense. And the Charleston Battery defense, they did a great job in shutting down DC United, especially within the last 15 minutes of the first half.
Welcome back to the Charleston Battery Scotel's radio network. It's halftime here at Blackboard Stadium on Daniel Island. It's a momentous upset in the making here with the Charleston Battery 2-1 up against the mighty DC United. What a first half it was. Battery were 2-0 up at one point. DC clawed one back, and I imagine they're going to come back full strength here in the second half. DC are going to be playing in white, attacking the goal to our left. Charleston Battery in yellow with black trim are going to be defending that goal and attacking the goal to our right. This second half is underway. Immediately, Monero knocks it out to Pay on this left-hand side, right underneath this. He takes a few steps up the line inside the Battery half. There's a turn there on Nicky Spooner, gets away from him. Limnianis over to cover, kicks that one into the stands right below us. It's going to be a DC throw midway up inside the Battery half on this near side. Pay, the former Battery player, knocks it into, throws it into Moreno, who gets pushed out towards the touchline. It goes off his leg. It's going to be a Battery throw, and we had two balls on the pitch for a second there.
We did. What we saw really in the first half was probably the best 20 minutes of football by the Charleston Battery thus far this season. However, they really need to try to harness that, like I said earlier, and really get that going in the second half. We saw proper team shape. We saw great ball movement. We saw, I mean, just pure all-out attacking. And that sort of dropped off in the last 20 minutes of the first half, where DC United started knocking that ball around and finding the open man. What they do so well is really find that guy on the blind side with about a 20, 35-yard long ball, just as we saw in this free kick.
And there's a free kick gone in there, dangerous one. It comes free at the back post. It's been taken out towards the touchline, and that's well played. John Wilson wins that back for the Battery. Now he sprints off up the line on the far side, plays it inside to Ivo. Couldn't quite control it, but it runs through for Conway. There's a break on here for the Battery. Conway looks up at the halfway line, waits for a run. He gets one from Dean Sewell, who's making great strides down the right-hand touchline. He plays it first time into the box. Pay there for DC, and he just can do nothing with that except kick it into touch. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on down by the corner flag on this near side. That shows how quickly Battery can break.
I tell you, Dean Sewell is such a quality play. I mean, great overlapping run, presence of mind by Paul Conway to wait and play that ball into Dean Sewell. And Dean Sewell trying to catch the DC United defense off their hinges, so to speak, and play a quick ball in, and it was almost rewarded for it.
Great work by Todd Miller and Dean Sewell. They're just muscling that ball away from the DC United defender. They went in very hard. The referee says free kick. It's going to be a DC United free kick down by the touchline on this near side. I think the keeper's going to take it. That's a good point, G.
It is, and again, the Charleston Battery needs to go forward. In the first half, at the end of the first half, they were really just hanging back, playing a sort of a defensive nature football, and that is not what put them into the lead 2-0. So they need to really attack as they did in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Long one forward there from Pay. Dean Sewell wins that for the Battery inside his box, brings it out towards the touchline, turns his man easily, cuts back inside, now plays it up the line towards Conway. Conway's not going to get there. It goes out. It's going to be a United throw just inside the Battery half, thrown in quickly to Unger, who plays that up towards the edge of the box. That head won by Gilbert Jean-Baptiste, but only as far as a DC United player. Still attacking this Charleston Battery box on the near side. Cut back inside. There's a ball played through for Moreno inside the box. He couldn't get there in time. John Limniaris has it for the Battery, feeds it up to Todd Miller, under pressure, deep inside his own half. Gets the ball back to Spooner. Tried a 1-2 there towards Todd Miller. It gets taken away. DC United still have the ball just outside the Battery box. They play it out to the right-hand side. Now it's dinked through into the box. Dusty Hudak there for the Battery, takes the ball on the edge of his 6-yard box, and now he hoofs it up the field into the DC United half. Good kick from Dusty. I think there was an offside there on Mike Burke, and it's going to be a DC United kick just inside their own half, quickly taken. Otero on the ball inside the Battery half, attacking the left-hand corner of this Charleston Battery box. He cuts inside, plays it up towards Nicky Spooner. Spooner to Sewell. Sewell to Todd Miller, up to Rodriguez. Rodriguez in turn to Evo. Great football here from Charleston Battery. First time ball from Conway to Spooner at the DC United halfway line. Great long searching ball from Spooner towards Evo, but it was read well by the defender. Headed forward, and now DC United cross the halfway line. They knock it outside to the right winger. Over goes John Wilson to challenge. Up goes Monero at the edge of the box, the number 9. He gets turned the wrong way. Over goes Limniaris to challenge, and the Battery have forced them outside the box once more. Good work by Evo, who takes a heavy challenge off the ball, but he wins it for the Battery. Now he feeds it up the line for Conway. Conway at the edge of the line, at the edge of the box, feeds it through, but Mike Burke towards the top of the box. Burke's going to get there first in front of Pay, just inside the DC United half, knocks it back towards the advance, and Evo goes down hard, gets the ball to Mike Burke inside the box, who plays it across to Rodriguez, to Evo inside the box, tackled away from him, and DC United survive that storm, and now they come back towards the Charleston Battery half. Great work by the Battery, G.
Great work by the Battery all around. I think Evo just really ran out of gas on that play where that ball fell for him, and he really didn't have the stamina to beat his man in the box and get a strike on goal. But all around, brilliant work. I mean, Evo started the play and then finished the play.
Long shot from outside the box from Pay, who I must say hasn't looked very sharp tonight, and that one misses by about 12 feet. It's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick. Dusty Hudak's going to take this. We have played 5 minutes of this second half. It's still Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
Well, as well, G, keep in mind that the Charleston Battery are a second-half team. All season long, they have scored 25 goals in the second half, and the Charleston Battery, as we said, have dominated opponents in the second half. So maybe this should turn the tide for the Charleston Battery in the second half in this critical match against DC United.
Just looks there. I just noticed Chris Albright, the U20 international, U.S. international, checking in for Diego Senor. He's the player DC United wanted to play, and that's why we have got Eddie Rodriguez playing for the Battery tonight. Heavy challenge there by Todd Miller on the DC midfielder. It's going to be a DC United free kick midway up inside the Battery half. The referee is calling Todd Miller over. I cannot believe he's going to give him a card for that, because he's let other challengers go from the DC players in the first half, and sensibly he keeps his card in the pocket. I think it's just going to be a free kick for DC United. About 30 yards, 20 yards inside the Battery half. Now the kick comes in towards the back post. Up goes John Wilson, who heads it towards the edge of the box. Still bobbling around at the edge of the box. Moreno brings that down nicely, but just really knocks it down for Rodriguez, who brings it out to the touchline underneath us on this near side, who plays a nice one up to Mike Burke under a lot of pressure, gets it back to Dean Sewell playing right back. Saul the Reggae Boy kicks it to the halfway line. Poor clearance, really. DC United come back at the Charleston Battery towards the edge of the box. That's Lassiter fighting for the ball, wins it for DC, plays it back to Woods, who gets it back to Eddie Pope at the halfway line, and Battery have forced them back to the halfway line briefly here. Evo over to cover as they attack down this right-hand flank. Now John Wilson pushing the ball out towards the touchline. It goes off a DC United player. That's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick. We've played 51 minutes of this match. Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
Well, Andrew, since DC United are in town, a MLS team, we do have a score from the MLS tonight. Dallas and New York are scoreless in the first half at the 20-minute mark.
I tell you what, the Charleston Battery's defense has done well. I mean, they've held the ground. Really and truly, Roy Lassiter has really been non-existent for the most part in this game, and that is something that is really just scintillating when you think about the Charleston Battery's defense, because Roy Lassiter, top scorer in the league, not just once, but a few times well, and he's been pretty much non-existent all game. Having said that, I may say that, and then 10 minutes later, he's going to knock one or two in the back of the net. However, again, the Charleston Battery's done a great job defensively against Roy.
Yeah, let's hope Roy Lassiter keeps quiet in the second half. Here's Pay on the ball, just crossing into the Battery half, feeds it out here to Otero on the left-hand side. He knocks it down the touchline. Over goes Todd Miller, holds the play up, still way outside the Charleston Battery box. Great tackle by Todd Miller, just toes it up to the halfway line. Eddie Pope there for DC United. Crosses the into the Charleston Battery territory. It's Unger on the ball. He feeds it out towards the right-hand box, headed towards goal by one of the right midfielders for DC United, and Hudak reads that easily, no problem, plucks it out of the air, and he's got that safely in at his midriff. We have played 7 minutes of this second half. It's still 2-1 to the Charleston Battery against DC United. Long kick forward from Hudak towards Paul Conway. Conway couldn't get there in time, and Jaime Moreno has the ball for the DC United. Strong tackle there by Eddie Rodriguez. Strong, lusty challenge, in fact. Knocks his player over in the process. DC United with a throw at the halfway line on the far side. And
that's the type of play you want to see from your central midfielder. He really came in and he made his presence felt, and he's been doing that all game. As we see, great work by Dean Sewell. Dean Sewell has been playing out of his mind tonight. Him and Todd Miller has done a great job on this right-hand side, and they deserve everything that's coming to them.
Tell you what, Pay just pushed Mike Burke into touch. Alan Dix was up in arms there, asking for a free kick. The referee says play on, and here's Lassiter towards the edge of the box on the right-hand side, held up there by Baptiste. Lassiter knocks it out down the right-hand touchline. The ball comes into the Charleston Battery box. Kept here, it's still in play here. It's dangerous here for the Battery. It goes out of play. It's going to be a goal kick for the Charleston Battery. Well played by the defense.
I mean, what's been the positive for the Charleston Battery defensively is that even as in the last sequence of events, you saw the player got beaten. However, there's a second guy coming up to cover, and that is something that has been somewhat minimal at best for all season for the Charleston Battery, where a guy gets beaten and then there's no one in a sort of a striking distance to give them that cover. We've seen that tonight. We've seen great cover all around, and the defense has been stellar.
That's right. That's a good point, G. And as well, keep in mind, Dusty Hudak, a 1.02 goals against average, has been a cornerstone for the Battery defense all season long, and he has come up with some huge saves for Charleston ever since the start of the season on April 24th.
Slavinsky just checks in there for Otero, the young U.S. international. There's a nice piece of work there by Dean Sewell, who just manages to clear it to the halfway line. It's going to be a DC United throw on at the halfway line. I say that it's about 2 yards inside the Battery half. Clint Pay, the former Battery player, is going to take this for DC United. He just throws it in casually. It looked like a foul throw. Quickly taken off his feet, though, by Mike Burke, who gets it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez plays it down the line, and Mike Burke just kind of gives up on that one. I think it was too far in front of him. Rodriguez puts his hand up in apology, and the DC United keeper just gathers that up and knocks it back into his box. He's going to take his time, I believe.
I would have loved to seen Eddie. I'm sorry. I would have loved to seen Eddie go to the left side as opposed to the right side down to Mike Burke. He had two breaking players, Paul Conway and Ivo, going to the left side.
Well, Jay, I was about to say, talking about Mike Burke, he has played out of his mind in that first half, especially within the first 20 minutes. He has been all over the place and has used his tremendous speed to create some decent chances for the Battery in that first half, which has been the key for the Battery in this whole match tonight.
Heavy challenge there by Rodriguez. Lusty challenge. He won the ball for the Battery. Players are going down all over the place, but now DC United have it on the right-hand side. Just outside the box, it comes in towards the back post. Up goes Leicester head on goal. Really just bobbled in front of the goal, and Dusty Hudak grabs that, no problem. He kicks this immediately long and deep into the DC half towards Paul Conway. Eddie Pope, the US international, underneath it, feeds it out to the right back, who plays it inside to Wanga, who knocks it out to the right midfielder at the halfway line. Now they cross the halfway line, played down the right-hand line to Moreno. Takes a challenge, a good challenge from Limniadis from behind. Moreno stays down. He's clutching his leg and asking for some help from the referee, who just trots over to see what the problem is. It's going to be a DC United throw-on, I believe, about level with the edge of the Charleston Battery box on the far side.
Well, gee, talking about that header by Lassiter a few moments ago, that was a weak header by Lassiter on the left-hand side, as Dusty Hudak had no trouble in picking up the ball on the one-hop. So that was a good advantage right there for the Charleston Battery on that weak header by Roy Lassiter.
DC with a throw then deep inside the Battery half on that far side. Thrown in towards Leicester. He couldn't control it, and Ivo hoofs that clear to the halfway line. Pope's going to get there first for DC United. He plays that one up, and Ivo's over to challenge. It's bobbling around just inside the Battery half. Finally, John Wilson comes across, kicks it into the crowd, and it's going to be a DC United throw midway up inside the Charleston Battery half on the far side. It was interesting to see Limniadis go in hard there on Jaime Moreno.
And you really do. I mean, Jaime Moreno, the last 25 minutes or so of the first half, he really started to make his presence felt, and you have to really take that advantage away from DC United.
There's a pull ball there from Rodriguez. Luckily, Baptiste recovers for the Battery. Again, kicks this one out. It's going to be another DC United throw on the far side, this time level with the Charleston Battery box. It's thrown in towards Moreno inside the box. He controls that nicely, turns away from goal, plays it out to the right-hand side. It comes back into the box, bobbling around, and Rodriguez finally heads that one over the bar. It's going to be a DC United corner kick from the far side. We've played 57 minutes of this Open Cup match. It's Charleston Battery 2, DC United 1.
Well, Andrew, you talked about that hard challenge by John Limniadis. That is what the Battery have to do, especially in the match against DC United. You have to take chances, which has worked so successfully for the Charleston Battery in that first half, and now they have to do the same thing in the second half, as we said, with 58 minutes gone by.
Corner comes in near post, head on goal, it's in! It's in, it's an equaliser there for the DC United. I can't see the player who's got it, but it's definitely in, off the corner. DC United equalise. It's the Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2. This game is level. We've played 58 minutes.
So the substitute, Chris Albright, comes in and scores really a brilliant header. Having said that, on the flip side is there was no one with him defensively. I mean, he picked up that ball about 12 yards outside of the goal mouth, and there was no one challenging him on that header. So something happened in the Charleston Battery's defense. There was a miscommunication, and DC United has leveled it, and we have a serious game in our hands right here.
Game on right now. That was a nice header there from the U23 international there for DC United. Now the Battery attack down this right-hand side. Eddie Pope there kicks that one high up into the air, right underneath us here in the commentary box, headed clear to the halfway line. Moreno with the ball takes that nicely on his chest, turns towards the Battery goal. Now it's played first time up towards Dean Saul. Saul heads it into touch. It's going to be a DC United throw-on midway up inside the Battery half. Looks like more. Lipinski's going to take this, the sub who came in just a minute ago. He plays that back to Pei, the former Charleston Battery player. Cuts in a few yards towards the centre. Now he plays a nice ball out to the right back for DC United. They're still attacking inside the Charleston Battery half. Evo over to challenge. Now Todd Miller over to challenge as well. The ball's played up the right-hand line. It looks like Moreno on the ball against Limniadis. Limniadis crouched down ready, takes it down to the touchline. The ball comes in, back post. Oh, it just flashes past the whole goal. Over goes Dean Saul. It's Lipinski versus Saul on this near side. Again, the ball comes in. Again, it's over the top of all the Battery players. Finally, Nicky Spooner steps up to the ball and just kicks that against the scoreboard. It's going to be another DC United corner kick from the far side. Let's hope the Battery can deal with this one better than the last.
I tell you what, not a good thing for the Charleston Battery, but I think it's starting to become the Jaime Moreno show. I mean, he just took on 3 Battery defenders and played a really scintillating cross coming across the goal mouth that really had Dusty Hudak very much worried.
Here comes the corner, swung into the near post. Up goes Todd Miller, heads it clear towards Unger outside the box, who just chips it back into the box. Rodriguez heads this one clear once again. It's bobbling around at the edge of the box, headed on again inside the box, free inside the box. Now there's a DC United player, shot on goal. Spooner just gets a touch to it and it goes out. It's going to be another DC United corner kick. We have played 15 minutes of this second half. It's the Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2, and DC have another corner from the far side.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. As you notice, ever since the Battery had a 2-0 lead, DC United are beginning to pick it up a notch. They begin to increase their level of play and really applying the pressure on the Battery defense as well, G.
Corner comes in, flashing header just wide.
I agree with you. I mean, and it's not just since then, but as soon as Jaime Moreno scored that first goal, that was pivotal. I mean, the pendulum swung from one side to the other in favor of DC United. DC United is a quality team. They're showing it. They're really finding, they play a great 40-yard long ball or so to find the open man and switch the point of attack, and they've done that. The 20 minutes or so left in the first half, and then in the second half they've done that as well, and that's why they're 2-2 at this point. We have a serious game on for the Charleston Battery, but I think the Charleston Battery, if they stay with what they were doing that was positive in the first half, which was attacking with numbers, they should be okay.
There's Dean Sewell taking that calmly at the halfway line, plays it into Limnialis, the Canadian international, outside to Rodriguez, who plays it up the line neatly to Mike Burke, who plays it off his marker Pay, and it's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on midway up inside the DC United half on this near side. One of the first attacks we've seen this half from the Battery. Thrown in quickly to Rodriguez, played first time back to Todd Miller, just underneath us. He flicks it towards Rodriguez again. Poor pass really, and Lipinski comes away with the ball for DC. At the center of the park, just about across the halfway, and now he knocks it back to his right midfielder. Everyone back for the Battery with the exception of Mike Burke. Great tackle by Ivo at the halfway line. Now he turns on the edges and heads towards the goal. Plays it across the middle to Paul Conway, who wasn't ready for it. Luckily it comes to Mike Burke, who knocks it into Eddie Rodriguez just outside the box. Rodriguez tries to feed it through to Conway. Behind Conway once again, and cleared to the halfway line. Gilbert Jean-Baptiste with the ball for the Charleston Battery, looking for some help, plays it inside to Todd Miller. Miller through to Rodriguez's feet. Rodriguez turns toward goal, plays it towards Gilbert Jean-Baptiste, who couldn't control it. Mike Burke comes onto the loose ball just outside the box, turns towards his man Lipinski, plays it across the middle, and that's saved by the keeper. Well played by him, clutches it out of the air off the cross. Well played by the Battery, but well defended by DC United, still 2-2.
And as well, you have to give credit to Gilbert Jean-Baptiste on a great charge from the right-hand side as he was fed the ball to the right side. You have to give him a lot of credit as he comes all the way from the back, and also to bring in on the offensive attack for the Battery.
Yeah, he couldn't quite keep control of the ball as he went through the middle.
And that's a positive for Gilbert. I mean, Gilbert, when he comes forward, is a very deadly individual. I mean, he's got a lot of skill. We've seen him take on at least 6 guys at a time, and many a times here at the board. So him coming forward is a plus for the Charleston Battery. I'm not sure if he has the legs to do those runs right now, but if he could, that's something that the Charleston Battery should try to capitalize on.
Long throw from Sewell, easily cut out by Moore, right underneath us here in the commentary box. Played up towards Laster at the edge of the box. Todd Miller knocks that back calmly to Dean Sewell, playing right back and having a tremendous game, I must say. He tries to feed that up to Mike Burke. Just as I say that, he plays a poor pass, and Eddie Pope has the ball back for DC United. He crosses the halfway line, feeds it out to the right back. Over goes Limnialis and Ivo to challenge, and that's a nice step up there by John Wilson to take that off the toes of Jaime Moreno. There's a long pass there from Paul Conway up towards Mike Burke. Mike Burke chasing it down. Pay's going to get there first, and Pay's fighting Mike Burke off. That's got to be a free kick for DC United, I suppose. Mike Burke was trying to pull Pay over. So DC United are going to have a free kick deep inside their own half.
And that's, that's Mike Burke for you. I mean, even though that ball is not his, you have to be very aware as a defender because he has the ability to stop and change direction on a dime and really make a ball that was not his by a great tackle.
Great work from Mike Burke as he tries to force the issue there now. Pay crosses the halfway line for DC, feeds it up to Moreno, who just turns John Limnialis easily, but he's pushed out to the near side. Now he cuts back in, heads towards goal. Nice 1-2, and it's a shot on goal from Moreno. This time it's going to go well wide, well over the top. It's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick. Huduk's going to take it. We've played almost 65 minutes here. And it's still Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2. They've fought their way back from a 2-0 deficit.
And as well, you have to give credit to Mike Burke. He has a very aggressive style of play on the offensive attack, G. Perhaps the first time all season in which you have seen Mike Burke go all out on his offensive attack, creating great chances in the first half and as well in the second half.
I don't know what's happening. We see Rashard Miller coming in there for Mike Burke, and I think Dean Sewell's gone up front.
And I saw that because that last ball that was played by Conway should have really been Mike Burke's ball running on goal, but he did not have the legs. He seemed very much spent at that point, and it makes sense to pull out Mike Burke. He's done the job. Let the rest of the team do it and see how far we can carry it and hopefully pull a victory here tonight. We're still in the game.
Gilbert Jean-Baptiste plays a long one up towards Dean Sewell. There was a step offside there. Nice work by the back three of DC United, and Sewell doesn't agree with the linesman, nor does Alan Dix, but they're not going to change his mind. The crowd getting into this game now here at Blackboard Stadium. It's going to be a DC United free kick just inside their own half. Battery still on level terms with DC here, 2 goals each. As Pope plays that one up to Pay on the left-hand side. Over goes Dean Sewell to put the challenge in, forces the error. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on midway up inside their half on this near side. Rashad Miller's going to take this throw. Rashad Miller, of course, a very accomplished defender, played for the College of Charleston, and he's had a great year with the Battery. This is first year as a pro. He throws that one up the line towards Rodriguez, who takes it hard in the back. Rodriguez thumps it into his marker's chest, but it falls nicely for Moreno at the halfway line. Played out now to the right-hand side. There's an overlap here. Battery are going to have to get back fast. John Wilson over to challenge. Ball comes down just inside the Battery box. Now it's outside the box, just on the right-hand side. Evo couldn't get enough on that challenge. There's a shot here. No, it comes in towards the back post. Rashad Miller hoofs that clear over to the right-hand side. Headed back in towards the box. John Wilson steps up and takes that calmly. He plays this up the line towards Dean Sewell, who takes that on his chest. It's Sewell against Pope. Sewell getting pushed all over the place by Eddie Pope, who I think was surprised by his speed. No, the referee's giving it the other way. It's a free kick for DC United. That surprises me.
It totally surprises everyone else. 5,000 screaming people here saying, "What are you looking at, referee?" Because Dean Sewell was clearly pushed and was not awarded a free kick.
Here's Lipinski going past 4 or 5 players. Finally a tackle from Wilson. The cross comes in, headed away by Rashad Miller. There's danger here for the Battery. The ball's free at the edge of the box. Finally tackled well by Paul Conway. Out to Todd Miller on the right-hand side. Miller out to Paul Conway, who's dropped back from up front. He tries one up the line towards Dean Sewell. Eddie Pope over, plays it back to his keeper calmly, and that's Presthus for the DC United team. He has plenty of time, just knocks it out to his right back. Charleston trying to get back in the lead here with a breakaway.
Well, as you notice now, G, with the Mike Burke substitution, Rashad Miller now goes to the back, and Dean Sewell now goes as the forward for the Charleston Battery to try to provide some more veteran leadership up front, and Dean Sewell has had a great game for the Battery tonight.
Yeah, Sewell, of course, scored last weekend. The only goal Charleston scored the whole weekend. It was a disappointing weekend for Charleston, but Sewell did get a goal. It was a good goal as well, and of course he scored a cracking goal in the first half. So maybe Coach Alan Dix thinks he's a threat up there. It's dangerous here for the Battery, however, as DC attack this Charleston Battery box. Now the ball comes in. Heavy challenge from Rodriguez. Knocks that ball into touch. It's going to be a DC United corner kick from the near side. I believe that's their first of the night from this side.
I tell you what, Eddie Rodriguez is such a torrid defender. I mean, every single challenge is like the last one. You know what I mean? he had a couple challenges early on in the game where he threw everything into it, and he's done that immensely throughout the entire game.
Here comes the corner, near post, headed away quickly by Todd Miller. There's no one there for either team. It's going to be a foot race to the ball. I think Unger's going to get there first for DC. He plays it up the line. It takes a deflection off the shoulder of Dean Sewell, and he buys the Charleston Battery defense a bit of time. They're looking a little ragged as they come out here. Just pushing them midway up inside the Charleston Battery half. Moreno comes to collect the ball in the center of the park, just at the halfway line. Now he turns towards the Battery goal. Feeds it inside to Lassiter, who knocks it out to the right. Good ball. Charleston back on their heels here in the second half. Played up the right-hand side. Over goes Evo to challenge. Keeps the ball outside the Battery box. It's taken to the byline. Played into the middle, and John Limnialis had no choice but to kick that one into the crowd. It's going to be a DC United throw, and down by the corner flag on the far side.
What's also important now, for Andrew, for the Charleston Battery, with 69 minutes gone by in the match, the fans really have to support the Charleston Battery in a dead-even match at 2 against powerful DC United. So the fans really have to come up and support the Battery in this critical situation in the second half.
Throw comes in. It's still bubbling around in the box. Rashad calmly takes that on his chest. Nonchalantly spins 360 degrees and kicks that one out. It's going to be a DC United.
Nerves of steel, Andrew.
Yeah.
I mean, he controlled that ball on his chest, took it down on his thigh, and then clears it. I mean, Rashad Miller, that is unbelievable at this point.
And that ball just goes past everyone inside the Charleston Battery box. That was dangerous. Luckily, no one from DC saw it coming either, and it just rolls through to Todd Miller. We've played 69.5 minutes of this Open Cup match. It's the Battery 2, United, DC United, that is, 2. Todd Miller with the ball for the Battery, cuts inside, plays it to Spooner, who tries to feed a quick one out to Rashad Miller on the right-hand side. Poor ball, but Miller comes back, recovers, gets the ball to Limnialis. Limnialis, long ball up to Conway at the edge of the box. Pope just gathers that up on his chest and just calmly brings it down. DC United regain possession just inside their own half. Heavy challenge from Evo, but he didn't get anything on that, and now it's coming down the right-hand side with United. They take it down to the touchline. The ball comes in the middle. Over goes Rashad Miller. It's a shot on goal by Moore, I believe that was, and it's saved easily by Dusty Hudick right at him.
Well, no danger right there as Dusty Hudick, he saw the ball all the way and makes the easy save for the Charleston Battery.
Yeah. Well, the Charleston Battery is showing somewhat of a pensive state at this point. I mean, they go forward, but they go forward with two, maybe maximum of 3 players. The entire team stays back, and that does not bode well for the Charleston Battery, because it means then that when DC United wins that ball, they have a good 20 yards or so to run with it, and they're taking full advantage of it.
I'll tell you what, as we say that, Dean Sewell was manhandled to the ground by Pope. I think he threw a punch at him as well. Pope gets a yellow card. He's protesting his innocence to the referee. He needs to stay away from the referee. He's going to get a red card. Sewell stays on the ground, prone, lying down, prone on the ground. It was a very heavy challenge.
It was, and not only did he get pulled down, but I think Eddie actually threw a fist, and also may have even stamped him, trying to kick the ball away.
I'm surprised he didn't get a red card for that. The referee obviously didn't see it. I'm looking to the linesman. He's not signaling to the referee, and the referee's telling Pope to get away from him, get back and do his job in defense and stay away from him. This is going to be a Charleston Battery free kick. I'd say it's about 10 yards outside the box, direct center.
And as well, Andrew, this is a very emotional contest, especially in the second half, because, as you said, Dean Sewell took a heavy challenge at about 30 yards out across the middle from Pope, and he is still lying down on the ground. And you know, Dean Sewell, he is a very tough and fierce competitor, and that's very rare to see Dean Sewell down on the pitch.
I noticed Nicky Spooner indicating his towards his foot. I think he did get stamped on as Pope went past him. Let's hope it was accidental, because that's not the sort of thing you want to see from a visiting MLS side here in the A-League at Blackboard Stadium. Still 2-2 here at Blackboard Stadium. It's 71 minutes gone. It's the Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2, and Dean Sewell back on his feet, which is good news for the Charleston Battery and good news for this game of football.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. Everything is still up for grabs, as you said. 72 minutes gone by now in the match. Tied match between Charleston and D.C. United at 2. Mike Burke and Dean Sewell with goals for Charleston. Moreno and Albright with goals for D.C. United. A lot still on the line and a lot of time left on the clock here in the second half in a very critical match here at Blackboard Stadium.
Let's see what the Battery Wizards can conjure up here. It's probably going to be Conway who's going to take it, although Rodriguez has got an absolute thunderbolt of a right foot. I wouldn't mind seeing him have a go from that distance. 2 Charleston Battery players have forced their way into the wall, Nicky Spooner being one of them. The referee is telling him to stay out of the wall. That's really the DC United's job, although there's nothing wrong with him standing in front of the wall, which is what he's doing now. He's taking a few pushes from Moreno as he is standing in front of Moreno, and now he takes an elbow from Spooner. This is getting a bit funny here. Now it's Rodriguez with a strike on goal. It's on goal. Saved by the keeper. He gets down low and just makes the save on the near post. Great strike by Eddie Rodriguez, and Nicky Spooner complaining about the treatment he received from Jaime Moreno while he was in the wall, and Rodriguez just holding Moreno off here.
Yeah, that's right. Impressed us. He had to dive to his right in order to make the save after that long shot by Rodriguez.
And I cannot believe the referee let that one pass. Moreno pushes Spooner over, and the referee was right there, and he says play on.
The referee's been very liberal in his calls. I mean, he's not giving the yellow card as he should, and he's not calling fouls as he should.
There's a good tackle there on the left-hand side from Ivailo Ilarionov, and finally there's a yellow card for Moreno, because he just won't leave this alone with Nicky Spooner. He's still trying to talk to him, and the referee's had no choice but to give him a yellow card. I'm surprised he didn't pull it out earlier. It's going to be a throw-on for the Charleston Battery, deep inside their own half on the far side. And the referee's still talking to Moreno. He's going to have to be quiet, or he's going to get the red card. He's going to get sent off. Limniadis over to talk some sense into him, let's hope. As Charleston Battery take this throw on the right-hand side, they throw it up the line quickly to Paul Conway. It goes off Paul Conway. It's going to be a DC throw halfway up inside the Battery half. They take it quickly. Moreno, nice touch inside. Taken off his foot, however. DC still with the ball. They swing it out to the right-hand side. It's behind Lipinski, who's going to have to retreat to get this. He's got acres of space on this near side. Sewell over quickly to challenge, forces the ball back to Pay in defense for DC United. He swings a great pass out to the right-hand side. Up goes Evo to challenge. Inside the Battery half, the ball comes into the edge of the box. Rodriguez there for the Battery. He takes a heavy challenge from behind, and he pushes the player over. This game is degenerating into a bit of a handbag swinging contest at the moment. I think Rodriguez asking for a a free kick there. I think he's going to get it. It's going to be a free kick for the Charleston Battery just inside the box down on the left-hand side.
Well, with just over 15 minutes or so left to play in the game, the Charleston Battery needs to still play football. I mean, this game is up for grabs. DC United has totally been rattled. I mean, they've been shocked beyond any sort of expectations that they would have had coming into this game. 2-0 down 12 minutes into the game. The Charleston Battery it's there for the taking for them, and if they keep playing team football, good team shape going forward, knocking that ball, swinging it around, finding the guys going forward, and coming up as a team, they can really pull out a victory here. But I think they're starting to degenerate somewhat into sort of push and let's go, push and let's go.
I think it's really the United team who are kind of frustrated at this point, and they seem to be provoking these altercations. But right now we're seeing some football played. It's right back with the DC United goalkeeper. Sewell over to challenge, forcing that long kick out from defence. Baptiste takes that easily on his foot, plays it up to Rodriguez, who had no chance, and just heads it into the DC United half. It's free at the halfway line. Rodriguez has it for the Battery, looking for some movement. There's loads of offsides for the Battery. Finally, it's played up by Rodriguez, who's saying, I didn't have anyone to pass to. It's going to be offside. It's going to be a free kick for DC United, about 10 yards inside their own half on the far side.
And as well, keep in mind, G, that the Charleston Battery have scored in games this season. They have scored in the last minute twice this season. Both of the goals have been scored by Paul Conway against Staten Island and Long Island. So the Battery, they do have the capabilities to score in the waning moments of a match.
14 minutes left to go here at the board. It's still 2-2. DC United, Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2. United with a throw here inside the Battery half. Pay takes that throw on his right foot, cuts inside towards the centre of the park. Now he swings one towards the back post. John Wilson half clears that heavy challenge from Rodriguez, who wins that for the Battery, gets injured in the process, goes down. Sewell with the ball inside the DC half. He goes down rather easily, I think, and it's going to be a DC United throw on just inside their own half. And there's a player down. The referee's going to have to stop this. I think Rodriguez, it took a little shot to the face there as he went in for that challenge.
I think he did. He came down sliding, and I think the player for DC United, he caught a portion of their studs. However, like we mentioned earlier, the Charleston Battery needs to still play some good football. I mean, DC United, Roy Lassiter is non-existent. I mean, if you can keep a guy like that out of the game, you're really doing something positive. However, again, the team shape going forward has been somewhat nil for the past 25 minutes or so for the Charleston Battery. We have Paul Conway, we have Dean Sewell going forward, but then we don't have the rest of the team coming up. Even when that ball is played and held in by Dean Sewell and Paul Conway, the remainder of the team is sort of tentative to come forward because they really don't want to give up that space. However, you hurt yourself in the process if you do that.
Yeah, that's right, G. That's a good point. And as well, the physical nature of the match in the second half has increased. Same situation as in Sunday night in Lehigh Valley, as the Battery received 2 red cards in the final moments of that match, as Dusty Hooduk and Rashad Miller were both ejected in that game in the final 5 minutes of that match. And as you're beginning to notice now, the physical nature between both of these teams in the second half has really increased as well, G.
Yeah, well, both teams are played some wonderful football tonight. Great goals from both sides. It's still even here. We've got about 12 minutes left to go. Long ball play forward towards the edge of the box. There's up goes Gilbert Jean-Baptiste. Just gets there first. Heads it towards the touchline. Rashad Miller keeps it in play. Heads it out. Lipinski there for DC United. Keeps it in play. Plays it inside. Rodriguez there to hold things up. Still outside the Charleston Battery box on this near side. Rodriguez back again. It's Unger who is forced to play this all the way back to Eddie Pope, playing sweeping tonight for DC United. He's well back inside his own half. Sewell up to hold it there. Played out quickly to Pay on the left-hand side at the touchline. He cuts back inside and swings one all the way out to the right-hand side. There to the number 3, Tally for DC United. He plays it up the line. It can't be kept in play. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw halfway up inside their own half on the far side. Everything to play for here at Blackboard Stadium. Still 2-2 in this Open Cup match. Really, it's totally open at this point.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. Everything is up for grabs as now DC United is on the rush from the right.
And they try and go up the line, and there's going to be a foul called there, I believe, on Rodriguez. It's going to be a DC United, on Rodriguez. It's going to be a DC United free kick level with the edge of the Charleston Battery box on the far side. This could be dangerous for the Battery. I think Rodriguez may have got a yellow card for that challenge. Did you see that?
No, I'm not sure. It wouldn't surprise me, though. The inconsistency of the referee has been just blatant.
Referee for tonight's game is Kermit Quisenberry. I think he just pulled his yellow card out there for Eddie Rodriguez. It's going to be a free kick for DC United on the far side. Way out on the far side. It's swung in towards the box. Headed on. Danger here for the Battery. It's free in the box. Rodriguez trying to tackle that away. He goes down. It takes a deflection off another Battery player. Conway just flicks it out towards Ivo on the left-hand side, he looks up, plays it nicely up the line for Dean Sewell, who takes that beautifully, taken off his foot there by the DC United player Lipinski, who charges forward towards the edge of the box. Strong challenge by Rodriguez, forces the error. Rashad Miller recovers, plays it up to Paul Conway, who's in acres of space on this right-hand side. Looks like Ivo making a good run from midfield. Conway takes it past his man. Great tackle there by the defender, who just knocks it out into touch. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw-on right down by the corner flag. Paul Conway with the throw, throws it into Ivo with his back to goal. He goes down, couldn't keep his footing, keeps his footing now though, turns towards the touchline. He's dragged to the ground by Pay. That's going to be a free kick for the Charleston Battery. About 10 yards outside the box, just down by the corner flag on this near side. No yellow card for that one.
The depth skill of Ivo is so prominent. I mean, this guy, he's falling down the ball. His man manages to stick to his feet, and he's able to still beat his man.
Well, Gene, as you said earlier, it's a good point in which you talked about as far as the Battery offense in their second half. They need to bring more of their midfielders into the attack because, as we said earlier, you only see Dean Sewell and Paul Conway on the Battery
Comes
attack.
in towards the near post. Rodriguez takes it on his right foot. He couldn't control it, and DC come away with the ball. Chance there for the Battery, but Rodriguez couldn't control that ball, and now DC United come towards the halfway line. Heavy challenge from Wilson, but he missed everything. Now there's a flick through the middle. Out comes Spooner, who takes it on his chest. Huduk there has to take that on his chest as well. Clears it to the halfway line. Well played, Dusty Huduk. Takes that away from Roy Lester, who's holding his hands up, but I don't know why. It would seem like a fair challenge. Now there's a flick up the line, and it's Gilbert Jean-Baptiste heading towards goal. The keeper comes out, gets there just in time, plays it up the line. Conway finally gets tackled, and it's going to be a throw for the Battery. The keeper was well outside his box there. It's Rodriguez who flicks it past Lipinski, takes it down towards the corner flag, gets past his man easily, heads in towards the box now on the near side, plays it in the middle. Sewell on the ball, couldn't control it. Cleared to the halfway line. There's an offside there on Lester. I don't think the linesman's going to bother calling for it because it's going to go through straight to Dusty Huduk. Big chance there for the Charleston Battery. 9 minutes to go, 8.5 minutes to go, still 2-2.
Yeah, that's right. Good point, Andrew. Great rush by Rodriguez on the right-hand side as he fed the ball over the middle to Sewell. The ball was behind Sewell a little bit, and he was unable to control the ball. That was a great rush by the Charleston Battery.
A torrid pace, I tell you. I mean, end to end. I mean, the keeper's out, keeper's coming, everyone involved. I mean, it'll full 11 playing on the field. Dusty Huduk on one end, and then the DC United keeper on the other. So it's been good football for the 5,000 people or so that's been here tonight.
That's a poor ball from John Wilson, who tried to feed it up to Sewell, and now DC come away. They've got numbers in this attack. They knock it out to the right-hand side. Baptiste is going to have to be quick to get there before it comes into the box. It's just cut inside the box on the near side. It's pushed out, well played by the defense. They force the ball back into the midfield. Conway in front of play. The ball's swung out to Lipinski on this near side. Back goes Todd Miller. The ball comes into the middle. It's cleared by a last chance challenge there by Nicky Spooner, who just swung everything he had at it, got enough on it. It goes out. It's going to be a DC United corner on this near side. We've got 7.5 minutes to go, still 2-2. Looks like Albright's going to take this. I'm sorry, that's Moore's going to take this for DC with his left foot, swings it in towards the back post. Up goes Huduk, no problem, grabs it, plucks it out of the air, and he has the ball safely in his arm. Takes a push as one of the players leaves the box. We still have time here at Blackboard Stadium. It's everything to play for. Still 2-2. Charleston Battery 2, DC United 2. Moreno tried to put Huduk off there, and well taken on his chest there by Dean Sewell, who gets pushed to the ground by Pay. The referee says play on DC United, have the ball back inside their own half. The crowd booing that decision from the referee, but they come across the halfway line. Sewell chasing back at the halfway line. The ball's played inside. Well played, Rodriguez. Just flicks it through, calls for the ball, tries to cut inside. His man gets beaten. It's Moreno heading towards the top of the box. Knocks it out to the right-hand side. Shot on goal. It's in. It's in. It's a heartbreaking goal. DC United score 3-2, and we've got less than 6 minutes to go. Heartbreaking for Charleston Battery as they give up the breakaway goal, and it's 3-2. Charleston Battery 2, DC United 3.
And that was you almost go ahead.
Thanks, YG. That was A.J. Wood on the goal for the DC United on the right-hand side as a counterattack goal for DC on the right-hand side. Beats Dusty Huduk as Huduk dives to his right, but to no avail. And a critical goal for DC United with 6 minutes left to play in regulation time.
I mean, it almost took the wind out of the sails for the Charleston Battery. I mean, and the pivotal individual involved in it was Jaime Moreno, who won that ball off of Eddie Rodriguez, who tried to dribble and go by him in the middle of the field. And Moreno totally took his man on and found the onrushing player, A.J. Wood, on his side to feed him for a simple strike on goal.
And here's Moreno again in the center of the park. He's got plenty of time. He plays it up. Good ball towards Lester at the edge of the box. Lester free just inside the Charleston Battery box. Gets it on his left foot. Shoots at goal. Huduk saves this one. 5.5 minutes to go here at Blackboard Stadium. Charleston Battery desperately need a goal to get back on terms. For the first time in this game, they are behind by 1 goal, 3 goals to 2 to DC. Long kick up towards Paul Conway. Conway couldn't quite keep it in play. He does keep it in play, I'm sorry. It's played back to the keeper. Dean still giving great chase there, but it's kicked to the halfway line by the keeper, headed on by Lipinski. It's going to be a Battery throw on about 5 yards inside their own half on this near side.
Well, gee, it's now a situation for the Charleston Battery with about 5 minutes left to play. It's really all or not for the Charleston Battery offense. They have to bring up several more players. Same situation, Andrew, as last week's match at Pittsburgh. Battery had to bring more players up to the offensive attack with 5 minutes left to play in regulation time.
You touched on a good point there, Herman. At this point, you're out of the tournament totally, so you might as well throw caution to the wind and push guys forward. They sat back a little bit too long, and at this point you really need to send guys going forward all the way, 100%.
And that's a poor pass really from Rushard down the line. I don't think Paul Conway had the legs for that one. It runs out. It's going to be a goal kick for DC United, and we're within the last 5 minutes of this Open Cup match. It's 3 goals to DC, 2 goals to Charleston Battery. I wouldn't be surprised to see a late substitution here for Clark Brisson, possibly here as we head towards the end of this game. Charleston needing a goal to stay alive in this Open Cup competition. It's free at the halfway line. Conway over to challenge. Todd Miller wins that ball for the Battery, takes a pull on his shirt as he goes out towards the touchline, knocks it out into touch. It's going to be a DC United throw midway up inside their own half. Todd Miller asking for some help because he was pulled. The referee not having anything to do with it. DC throw a long one up the line towards Lipinski, who brings that down nicely. Limnianis couldn't win the second ball. Knocked inside. There's danger here now as Moore heads towards the top of the box, plays it out to Lassiter on the far side. He tries to volley one towards the top left, but it goes high and wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Charleston Battery. Dusty Hudick's going to take it. And we are within the last 3 minutes of this game now, G. What have the Battery got to do here?
Really, again, throw caution to the wind, push guys forward. It doesn't matter if you lose 3-2 or 4-2 or even 5-2. You really got to send the troops going forward. The Charleston Battery needs to attack as a full-out team. The ball's played long. Everyone's got to push.
Here's the ball played forward to the edge of the box. Over goes Evo in the box. He's free in the box. He's head to a goal. Shot on goal. It's in! Great goal by Ilarionov. It's in! Brilliant goal! And I cannot believe it. He gets free in the box, turns his man easily, and just shoots that one high up into the top right-hand corner. Once again, the keeper gets beaten on his near post.
Every single time. Again, this guy can change the face of a game. I mean, he did it to start with by feeding Mike Burke with the goal to start, and now he's just pulled the Battery back into somewhat of a dead situation. I mean, they were staring death in their face, and all of a sudden, Evo, the guy who was almost walking in water, revives them.
Evo with a huge goal right there, G. And right now he could run for mayor of the city of Charleston, wide open on the right-hand side as he puts it in over the outstretched fingertips of Prestes with 3 minutes left to play to tie this match. What a huge goal for Evo and the Charleston Battery.
This house is going crazy. I mean, I can barely hear myself talking. This has never been the case here for games all season long, and I mean, the folks are just going nuts. And this is what you need to see in Charleston. This is where the Battery needs to go, and they're going in the right direction.
Battery win a free kick at the halfway line on the far side. Well played, Limnialis. And now the Battery troops pushing forward. Long kick down the left-hand side. Brownell chasing for the Battery. Cleared into touch by the defender. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on halfway up inside the DC half. We've got 1 minute and 49 seconds left to play of regulation time as that throw's taken by John Wilson. He gets the ball back at the halfway line under a lot of pressure, feeds it up the line for Todd Miller. Miller in turn knocks that up the line, but it goes out. It's going to be a DC throw this time, halfway up inside their own half on the far side.
Well, keep in mind, G, Evo was mentioned as one of the A-League Team Players of the Week 2 weeks ago with his brilliant performance against Connecticut and Jacksonville. And Evo comes up big for the Battery with 3 minutes left to play in regulation time.
Now DC United pushing forward as we approach the end of this game. Regulation time, that is. It's Lipinski forced back by Evo, who's done a good job defensively tonight as well, forcing the player back to turn towards him. Now they take it down the touchline. They're appealing for a throw on. The referee and the linesman say play on. There's Moreno taking it on his chest. He brings it down. He heads into the box. Danger here for the Battery. Well played by Jean-Baptiste, who gets enough of that ball. And another good tackle by Baptiste. It goes out. It's going to be a corner for DC United. The Battery players wanted a goal kick. The referee says corner. We have under a minute left to play of regulation time, and DC United have a corner on this near side. at the moment, it's the Charleston Battery 3, D.C. United 3.
What's still important right now for the Battery G to still play their sound, consistent defense, especially within the final minute of regulation time.
Here's Moore with the corner, swings it in towards the near post. Todd Miller heads that one out into the stands practically. It's going to be a D.C. United throw on this time. Halfway up inside the Charleston Battery half, quickly taken Moore inside to Unger, the Canadian international. He feeds it through toward Lassiter at the edge of the box, who takes a rather hilarious dive, really. He goes down. I'm sorry, I think that was Eddie Pope. It was a bit obvious, and the referee says, you're not having that, son. It's going to be a goal kick for the Charleston Battery as we are within the last minute of regulation time here at Blackboard Stadium.
Well, gee, I feel sorry for the fans who left after D.C. United scored that third goal in the match, but then all of a sudden, Evo, he brings the Battery back to life with that all-important third goal.
As Dean Sewell gets pushed out of play there as he goes past Pay. Pay's going to get sent off here. I think he's going to get a yellow card. He already has one. I believe he already has one, does he? He pushes, no he doesn't. The referee's just given him a yellow card. I thought he already had one. That would have been interesting if he got sent off at that point of the game. He couldn't deal with Sewell's pace and he just pushes him out of play as Sewell breezes past him. It's going to be a Charleston Battery free kick on this near side, probably 15 yards outside the corner of this D.C. United box. Evo's going to swing this one in with his left foot. He looks up. Now he swings it in towards the back post. Out comes the keeper. There's pushing and shoving in the box. The keeper does well, plucks it out of the air. D.C. United have possession of the ball back. We've played 90 minutes. We're into extra time here at Blackboard Stadium. Good ball up the right-hand touchline. Over goes John Wilson to cover. Doesn't dive in, stays on his feet, does everything well. There's a body check really by John Wilson. He's going to get a yellow card for that, and the player goes down. It's going to be a D.C. United free kick midway up inside the Charleston Battery half on the far side. He kind of stood his ground there, G. I'm not sure why the referee gave him.
I think the referee said he used his hip just a bit. There was a little bit of hip movement and stepped into the player as he's tried to get around him. The Charleston Battery again has to be very, very sure on defense at this point. Good work there by Brownell to clear it at least and get a sigh of relief going.
Lipinski gathers that up for DC, turns around and heads back towards goal, plays it inside to the middle of the park with Moore. Unger, who flicks this one towards the back post. Up goes John Wilson, who does an incredible diving move and heads that one clear. Flick towards the halfway line. Dean Sewell gets there first, does he? No, it's knocked out. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on at the halfway line. Everything to play for here in the last few seconds of this game. We're in injury time. Conway brings that down with his right foot, plays it back to Brownell, who knocks it off his marker. It's going to be another Charleston Battery throw, this time just inside the DC half. He plays it up to Dean, so he turns his man easily, heads towards the top of the box, plays it into the middle, just behind Evo, and it's cleared by Lipinski, taking no chances, kicks this one high, long, deep towards touchline. Back goes John Wilson. He's going to get there first. Moreno close at his heels. He plays it back to Huduk under pressure from Moreno. Jaime Moreno, the Bolivian international. Huduk clears it to the halfway line somehow. Lots of extra time here being played. Evo goes up for that challenge at halfway line. Headed along by Todd Miller. It's bouncing around. It could be anyone's ball here. Lipinski settles that down, knocks it across to Pay. Sweeping at the moment for DC United. He feeds it up the middle, still inside the DC half. Plays it up to Tully, just inside the Battery half now. Good ball out to the right-hand side. Danger here for the Battery. Brownell quick to get back. The ball comes into the middle. Kicked into towards the Mark Clark, I should say, by Derek Brownell. It's going to be a DC United corner kick, and there can't be much time left on that referee's watch, G.
I tell you what, this is the same thing that happened at the end of the first half, where the referee just kept going and going and going, almost thinking it's the Energizer Bunny we're dealing with. However, the Charleston Battery really wants to see this whistle go off here and get a chance to break and regroup and savor the moment, as if you will, and then try to really stick the dagger into the hearts of this DC United team.
Yeah, that corner kick went nowhere. It went all the way across everybody, straight back out into touch. It's going to be a Charleston Battery throw on down by the corner flag on this near side. Rashad Miller taking his time, I think waiting for extra time to come. Now he throws a long one up the line. Dean Sewell underneath it, wins that header. It goes off it must have come off last off Sewell. It's going to be a DC throw, thrown in quickly to Moreno, Jaime Moreno, who's been a bit quiet since he had a good spell in the second half, and he's just shepherded along there by Limniadis, who turns his back to Moreno, gets it to to Rashad Miller, who plays it up the line to Dean Sewell, who flicks a beautiful move there to keep that ball in play, but Pay read it well. Won that back for DC. Now a great pass out to the right-hand side. Over goes Eva to hold things up. Long ball comes in towards the edge of the box. Lassiter there. Heavy challenge by Limniadis. The referee's saying free kick for DC United just outside the Battery box. This is dangerous. Limnianis is furious with the referee, but he turns and heads back towards where he's going to stand in the wall, I believe.
Well, it's key right now. Sorry, Jay. It's key right now, especially for John Limnianis. He has to maintain his composure and also his cool, because keep in mind, earlier in the regular season, he was ejected for one game because of his, as you would say, extracurricular activities by John Limnianis. So it's very important, especially in this key situation, that John Limnianis has to keep his cool, G.
Really a wrong move on his part to foul Lassiter. Lassiter was in no position to be dangerous. His back was to goal. It was really just a little floated ball into the middle of the park, and now we've given them a really a great chance right now with about 20 yards, 22 yards out from the box to really win the game and the winning moments of the game.
Looks like Tully and Unger over the ball. Spooner looks like he's ready to dive out towards it. The free kick comes in, it's high and wide. No problem there for Huduk. No danger there for the Charleston Battery. It was a tired right-footed attempt by Tully, and it's going to be a Charleston Battery goal kick, and I can't see there's much time left on the clock. I feel like we've played about 7 minutes here of extra time. It's Huduk with a goal kick for the Battery, and that is full time, so we're going to go to extra time here at Battery Stadium. The crowd of 5,000 rises to their feet. Charleston Battery have denied the DC United a regulation time win with a brilliant comeback goal from Dean Sewell, from Ivailo Ilarionov right at the end. We're tied here at Blackboard Stadium. It's 3 goals apiece.
That's right, Andrew. It does not get any better than this. A sellout house here at Blackboard Stadium. Over 5,000. We're tied against DC United, the MLS champions from 1996 and 1997. All out great performance by the Battery tonight, G, on offense and also on defense. And also you have Evo, who came up huge with 3 minutes left to play in regulation time to force the issue now in overtime for the Charleston Battery.
Andrew, you almost sort of epitomized the whole thing, and the mistake you almost said that Dean Sewell was the one who scored the goal when it was Evo, but it's really been these two guys. It's been Evo and Sewell. I mean, you can't say anything more about the Charleston Battery other than Evo and Sewell tonight. Evo, who's done it's actually Sewell who's done the work in defense, and actually while in defense scored a great overlapping goal to put the Battery up 2-0, and then Evo, who's just really been all over the place, ball sticking at his feet, taking players on, changing the face of the game consistently, and someone like that, you harness that and you push that as far as you can, because it serves you well in games like this where a cup tie is on the line, or in games where it comes down to the end of the season, you need a desperate win. Evo and those guys are the guys who can change the face of the game, and that is totally what he's done thus far tonight.
Yeah, I think it was an inspired move by Coach Alan Dix, to move his right back, Dean Sewell, up front.
And he's wreaked havoc.
Yeah, he really has. It's been a terrific performance by the Battery. They show great heart, great determination. You know, you might have thought that they'd have just let their heads drop after they let that third goal go in. They led the game for that entire match. They go down 3-2. They don't give up. We come back. We're on level terms. I tell you what, this game is wide open right now. Yeah,
that's right. You said it right there, Andrew. A never give up attitude by the Charleston Battery tonight when they had their 2-0 lead, and then DC United were able to bounce back with 3 consecutive goals to take a 3-2 lead. And then from nowhere, Evo, with 3 minutes left to play, as you said, G, that was a good point, scores from the right side over the fingertips of the all-star goalkeeper, Tom Prestis, to force the issue now into sudden death overtime for the Charleston Battery.
I'm not sure it is. I think it's just 15 minutes, 2 15-minute half if we're playing FIFA regulations.
FIFA regulations, 2 15s. Right. If it's tied at that point, we go into penalty kicks, the traditional style penalty kicks, 11 yards out. On the mark, you go with the keeper, strike on goal.
Tell you what, I'm just looking at the players down both sides, lying on their backs right underneath us here on this beautiful green, lush Blackboard Stadium grass. They look very tired. They get in there. The physios are out, keeping their legs moving, I think working on the cramp. G, is that right? Yeah, at this point, these guys have played their lights out. I mean, they have not put on a show anything remotely close to this all season. And they've done such an impeccable job for 90 minutes against a DC United team that has outclassed MLS teams left and right, day in, day out. And the Charleston Battery is right there, neck and neck, really probably should have won the game in regulation, making some blunders and giving
giving DC United a chance to get back in the game. But even having done that, they've still corrected their errors and able to pull an overtime play here.
That's right, G. And keep in mind, there are 9 teams left in the 1989 U.S. Open Cup tournament. 6 out of those teams are from the MLS, and 3 are from the A-League, with the Charleston Battery, Rochester, and Staten Island. And keep in mind, the Battery have defeated Staten Island earlier this season 2-1, and also were nip and tuck with Rochester back on June 4th in Rochester, before Rochester finally won the match 2-1. So the Battery as well have been in a lot of close matches all season long. And as we talked about the defense, Dusty Hudak has done a brilliant job for the Charleston Battery. He has made some key saves, and the difference tonight, Andrew, is that he has received some help from his offense as well.
Yeah, it really has. Just looking at Nicky Spooner, went out to meet Eddie Pope at the halfway line. The two captains meeting each other. So impressed with the way Nicky Spooner's come back into this lineup. It was tough for him to lose those 6 games there after that decision by the league to suspend him for a hard tackle on Steenkamp up in Rochester, but he's come out firing tonight. I'm surprised how match sharp he's been.
And you're right, and you have to tip your hat to Nicky Spooner, because Nicky Spooner, 6 games is a heck of a long time to stay really inactive, so to speak. The most he's done really is practice and played in practice, etc. And that's a horse of a different color when it comes to playing in a game. And Nicky Spooner really has stepped up to the plate and said, hey, it's like I've not missed a beat.
Yeah, that's right, G. That's a good point, because Nicky Spooner, the Battery captain, he has played like a captain and then some tonight, because as we said in the pregame, in the 6 games of Nicky Spooner's suspension, the Battery are only 2-4 in those 6 games and really struggled, especially in those last 2 matches, Andrew, against Pittsburgh and Lehigh Valley. So that's a great sign for Charleston to have Nicky Spooner back in the Battery lineup tonight.
Yeah, we're going to need him for the rest of this A-League season. We are live at Blackboard Stadium with the Charleston Battery Scotell's radio network. Just about to get ready for, I believe, 30 minutes of extra time here in this Open Cup competition. Both teams vying for a chance to continue into the 4th round. I believe that'll be the quarterfinals to compete for this Dewar Cup. It's the oldest cup in the United States soccer history. It's such a great competition. The winner goes on to play in the CONCACAF tournament. I believe that's the case. And DC United have, of course, won this cup before.
They have, and again, this is the cream of the crop, minus a couple players here and there, but this is the cream of the crop when it comes to playing football in the United States against DC United. And the Charleston Battery has totally welcomed the opportunity and even given them one more and say, hey, I'm actually going to probably beat you here tonight, given the chance.
I think DC won the toss. They elected to take the field to our right, the half of the field to our right. So the Battery, playing in yellow with black trim, are going to be attacking the goal to our right as we kick off here. DC in white defending that goal. Rashad Miller with an immediate long kick down towards Todd, towards Dean Sewell on the right-hand side. Sewell heads it on. There's no one there behind him. The United keeper comes out, grabs it, throws it out quickly to his right back. Over goes Ilarionov to cover, forces the ball back inside. DC coming out a little tentative here at the start of this overtime period. Good ball out to Pay on this left-hand side. Over goes Paul Conway to challenge. The ball's played up to Lipinski on the near side. Rashad Miller covering. Lipinski cuts inside, tries to beat Rashad for pace, couldn't quite get by him, knocks it back to Wanga, the Canadian international, the young player from Canada who plays it up to Moreno on the right-hand side. Moreno, quick ball out to Tully for DC United. He swings it in back post. Hudak has to come out and puts a one-handed punch to clear that ball away from his 6-yard box. It goes into touch. It's going to be a DC United throw-on, level with the edge of the box on this near side.
Well, that was an alert play right there by Dusty Hudak as he punches the ball away, G, to the right-hand side. Almost a moment of danger for the Battery defense.
As Conway pushes Moore out onto this right-hand touchline. Moore cuts back inside, feeds that through to Moreno. Good touch from him, just behind Moore, who keeps it in play out to Lipinski. Rashad Miller, the ball swung in back post. Hudak has to save that off the edge of the top right upright. Palms that one clear somehow. I don't know how he got that one away. It's going to come back in again towards the 6-yard box, and Hudak grabs that one out. It's still free in the box. Baptiste clears it towards the halfway line. Saul underneath it, couldn't get on top of it. Pay knocks it out to Lipinski. This is dangerous here by DC United. Lipinski cuts past Rashad Miller, who gets to the byline first, shepherds that ball into touch. Great defending by Rashad for really a first-year pro. beating Lipinski to the ball. He didn't quite have the pace to beat him. It's going to be a goal kick for the Charleston Battery. We've played 1:43 of this overtime period.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. That's a good point. As you said, smart play by Rashad Miller as he allows the ball to go out of play at the left end line. If he touched it, then that would have been a corner kick for D.C. United.
Great kick out to Brownell on the left-hand side. He brings it down on his chest inside D.C. United territory. Cuts back inside, plays a tough one for Conway, who gets there first. Knocks it back to Wilson, who's got a bit of time. He crosses the halfway line on the far side. Looks up, plays it out to Brownell. Brownell cuts inside his man, heads towards the center of the park. Poor ball by him, but he gets it back luckily. Now he feeds it out. Good ball. Offside, though. Offside. John Wilson just offside on the far side. It's going to be a D.C. United free kick midway up inside their own half on the far side.
I tell you, I love the work that John Wilson has done tonight. John Wilson really is playing with a fractured toe. And you can see him just hobbling around gingerly here and there. But however, when he's called upon to perform, when he's called upon to defend or go forward with or without the ball, he does it 100%.
D.C. United take a nice pass up there towards Moreno, but Limniadis just calmly steps up, takes that away from Moreno to the halfway line. Good ball inside to Derek Brownell, who spins 360 degrees. Nice run on the left-hand side by Gilbert Jean-Baptiste. Brownell couldn't see him. He heads towards the top of the box, feeds it through towards Baptiste, who wasn't offside. The keeper was quick out and heads that to the halfway line. Spooner knocks it back into D.C. United territory. Conway over to challenge, wins that ball for the Battery. The referee says play on. The D.C. United is complaining about the strength of that challenge, but Conway cuts back inside now, feeds it towards the back post. Good pass. Sewell brings it down on his chest, couldn't quite step inside. And I think that was an offside. The linesman has his flag out. Offside, Dean Sewell. I didn't think that was offside, G.
It was very close if it was, because when that ball was played, Dean Sewell at least seemed to be even with the defender.
Here's Moreno versus Limniadis, the veteran Canadian international. Moreno didn't want any of it that time. He plays it up instead to Lassiter at the edge of the box on this near side. Lassiter spins it around into the middle to Moreno, who's made a nice run from midfield. He tries the same shot he did in the first half. This time he scuffed it, and it just rolls through to Huduk, who just gathers that up off his toes. And he has the ball calmly and safely at his midriff. We've played 4 minutes of this first 15-minute period of extra time.
Well, as you notice now, G, very tense moments here at Blackbard Stadium. Seem like every play, the fans are now on their feet.
Pope just collapses there under. I didn't really see much of a challenge from Evo. Nice bit of gamesmanship there by Pope. He goes down, wins a free kick for DC United. They're going to have a free kick just inside their own half in the center of the park.
Tell you what, the 5,000 fans or so aren't happy with that call, because really and truly it was Dean Sewell who was really just backing, trying to get the ball, and had an incidental bump with Pope, and Pope went down and he got the foul.
It's been a monumental battle between those two, though, since Sewell's gone up front, because there was a bit of needle earlier in the game. Pace spins one out towards the far side. Good pass, up goes Wilson, wins it for the Battery, heads it into touch. DC United with a throw just inside the Battery half. We've played just over 4 minutes of this first period of extra time here in the Open Cup. DC United 3, Charleston Battery 3. The ball comes into the middle, well played there by Moore. It goes into touch, I believe, off a Battery player. It's going to be another United throw. They throw it up the line to Moreno, being kept out of the box by John Limniadis. Moreno tries to flick it up for himself, make something happen for himself. He knocks it out. Brownell quickly there, kicks that one hard into the stands. It's going to be another DC United throw, this time down by the corner flag on the near side. On the far side, I'm sorry.
We saw a good display of skill by Jaime Moreno, but I tell you what, Lipinski on the left-hand side is a guy who we really need to watch. The Charleston Battery needs to pay close attention to this individual. He's very, very quick, and he's willing to take on players left and right. And I think Rashad Miller is going to have his hands full as we go on in this extra time period. We saw a strike by him that seemed to be a cross that Dusty Huduk really had to backpedal like crazy to touch onto the face of the post.
Yeah, he's looked very good since he's come on. Lipinski, he's kind of a bald player, dangerous looking player, however, very good down this left-hand side. That's going to be another Charleston Battery throw, well played by the Battery midfield as they push this DC United back into their own half. Battery with a throw just inside their own half. John Wilson steps up, takes the throw for the Battery, throws it up the line towards Sewell. Sewell controls that nicely, plays it back towards John Wilson. Wilson touches it down. Now he sprints off down the line, takes on his man, cuts it inside towards Sewell. Sewell turns one man, heads towards the top of the box. Good tackle there by Pope. Pope against Sewell. Pope won that occasion. It comes free for Brownell. Knocks it out to Evo. It's free in the box. Evo's free in the box. It's in. No, it's just wide. It's just wide. It's just wide. I thought he'd done it, but he just puts it wide. It's probably an inch wide. He's holding his hands, but it was a great pass through. Alan Dix lost his footing.
Really, just brilliant work by Derek Brunel to pick his head up, actually, and find Ivo. Ivo just with a gift. I mean, if he'd gotten that in the first half, I think he would have easily put that into the back of the net. However, I mean, he made the difficult ones early on, and then this one, he just actually just blows about 2 inches or so. I mean, you could really just smell it going by the post.
Yeah, my apologies to those of you listening on the web tonight. I thought that was in. I hoped it was in. I said it was in, but it wasn't. And we have played 7 minutes of this overtime. First 15-minute overtime period. It's still 3-3 here. Limnianis wins that header in his own half, plays it to John Wilson, who knocks that one up towards Pope and Sewell. Sewell gets onto the rebound. He goes down from a heavy challenge from Talley. The referee says play on as Wilson, as Brownell cuts down the line, takes it to the byline. 3 players in the box for the Battery. Comes off Talley as Brownell tries to whip it in. It's going to be a Charleston Battery corner kick.
Good decision by the referee
on the
too,
far
Andrew,
side.
to play the advantage, because there was a definite advantage with Derek Brownell charging down the left-hand side. Should have played that ball in a little bit sooner to the far side. I think we had Ivo and a couple other folks in there.
So it looks like Brownell's going to whip this corner in from the far side. He does towards the near post. Up goes Dean Sewell. It's bobbling around in the box. It's free in the box. There's no shot on goal. It's cleared by DC United. Hoofed clear towards the halfway line. Lassiter up. Couldn't win the challenge. Back comes Todd Miller storming back out of the front line. Great pass up the line from Nicky Spooner. First timed out to Brownell on the near side. Rashad Miller, I'm sorry, comes free in the middle. It's cleared once again by DC United. Battery throwing everything forward here. And once again, Nicky Spooner reads that well, gets this up the line to Rashad Miller just inside the DC half. Miller plays it up to Conway. Conway looked like he was going to give Miller the give and go. Now he gets the give and go back, and he heads down the right-hand touchline. In acres of space on the near side. First time crossing back post just over the top. It's going to be a DC United goal kick. We have played 8 minutes and 14 seconds of this first extra time period. It's still Charleston Battery 3, DC United 3.
Well, G, you have to give all the credit to head coach Alan Dix and also making those right substitutions at the right time for the Charleston Battery. And also, moments ago, Ivo, he was wide open, as you said, on the right-hand side. He had his man beat, but he just tucks it wide on the left-hand side. Could you imagine if Ivo was able to score that goal? This place would have erupted.
It's still time for Ivo to snag one before the end. We've got about 7 minutes. I believe we're playing 15 minutes of this first extra time period. 8.5, almost 9 minutes gone. DC United have the ball with their goalkeeper. He knocks it out of the box. Now he plays it long into the Battery half. Over goes John Wilson. Gets up and wins that header. He takes a heavy challenge, but the referee says play on. Brownell knocks it back to Wilson. Wilson up towards Sewell. Sewell takes a heavy challenge from behind. Again, the referee says play on. Sewell's holding things up. There's an offside here, possibly. The ball comes flying out towards Ivo on this near side, but it's cut out well by the DC United midfield. And now they bring the ball back across the halfway line. Limnianis quickly wins it back for the Battery, plays it out to Wilson. Wilson up the line towards Sewell, who's sprinting to try and get past Pope. Out comes the keeper, who has to play it with his feet. He was out of his box. Conway at the halfway line. Now Baptiste knocks it down. Conway wins it for the Battery. He heads towards the top of the box. 2 players on him. He plays it inside for Ivo. It's just offside. The linesman's flag's up. Ivo offside. He couldn't quite time his run. It's frantic stuff here at Blackboard Stadium. Charleston Battery 3, DC United 3.
It's a frenzied pace at this point. I mean, I don't think anyone expected to see this kind of a performance, not just by the Charleston Battery, but by both clubs. I mean, this is end-to-end action, really in the favor of Charleston Battery at this point, but really great football. I think the fans are really being treated to some good stuff here tonight, and we hope to see them out for the regular season games as well.
And there's a nice ball through the middle for Sewell, who heads towards the top of the box. There's a 2-on-2, 2-on-1 breakaway here. It's played through to Ivo, who's onside this time. Cuts it, tucks it, it's in! It's in! Charleston score, Ivo scores! And this place is gone wild, Ivo. Ilarionov scores, Charleston Battery 4-3 up here.
It's apparently it's a sudden death.
It was a sudden death overtime. That's it. The game's over. Charleston wins. Brilliant.
My God, I tell you, this is what dreams are made of. This is what people look for. I mean, you grow up as a footballer looking for the limelight. You're thrust into it. And Ivo, the man who walks in water, the man who can probably make wine out of a bottle of a glass of water, has done it. I mean, he's done everything. Him and Dean Sewell. And who connected on the last goal? Dean Sewell to Ivo Ilarionov. I mean, these two guys have done it all night tonight, and it's been a great been a great night for those two individuals.
Well, gee, as I said earlier, Ivo should run for mayor. He should now run for president with the goal at 101st minute mark. Ivo comes up on a right-hand side. He was wide open as he tucks it past Priestess, the D.C. United goalkeeper. And, gee, I tell you, I'm so excited. I lost my headpiece there on the microphone. What a huge goal for the Charleston Battery and an incredible 4-3 victory over D.C. United at Blackball Stadium. It doesn't get better any better than this there, Andrew.
I tell you what, you've got to question the team that D.C. United brought into Charleston. Perhaps they underestimated this Charleston Battery side. As they say, you do not send a boy on a man's errand.
Exactly.
D.C. United came in tonight, and now they get sent home with their tail firmly between their legs.
I tell you, I mean, and this is no easy task. I mean, you're talking about the top club in the MLS. You're talking about a club who's shown well internationally. I mean, these guys have done it. And this little unknown Charleston Battery club, when it comes to the DC Uniteds of this country, has really done it. They've come out. The Charleston Battery took it 100% to this DC United club from the get-go, and Ivo's been doing it. I mean, he did it from the start. He's done it at the end. Really, with a cast by his side, really firmly implanted by his side was Dean Sewell. Dean Sewell did it in the back. They said, Dean, I need you up top. He goes up top, he wreaks havoc up top, takes players on left and right, beats them left and right, and eventually sets up Ivo for the crowning moment. The Charleston Battery has done it, come into the U.S. Open Cup and won against D.C. United.
We must apologize. I was under the impression that we were playing 30 minutes of extra time. Under FIFA rules, it was sudden death extra time, and Ivo just stole the show there. The crowd is still on its feet. They're being restrained from running onto the field. This is just a terrific occasion here at Blackball Stadium.